minutes, 21 seconds. 5-second tone followed by a 1-second pause.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Okay, gang, let's go.
From the space city called Houston, Texas, welcome to Spaceboy Universe, featuring Spaceboy and the lovely Surlana. So strap in and prepare for launch sequence.
Greetings and salutations. I'm Spaceboy.
I'm Surlana.
And we'll bump her mic up a little bit later. And this is Spaceboy Universe. We're live and in demand tonight. It is January 6, 2018, and tonight we're going to be talking about the year in review 2017 and 2018 predictions. And we'll take some of your calls too, which will always be great. As always, follow us on Twitter. That's at the SBU Universe. Follow Surlana at Surlana. Follow me at Spaceboy Music. Of course, follow the network that brings you all this fine programming, and that's at the SBU Network. Remember to hashtag your tweets tonight with hashtag SBU Universe and hashtag Space Cadets. Say, want to hang out with said Space Cadets? Go to spaceboyuniverse.com, click the dancing chat bubble in there, and that'll get you in with all the cool kids. You can even chat with us after hours, so go ahead. Even though it's pre-recorded sometimes, you'll find it interesting what you'll find in the old chat room. In addition to Twitter, you can find the universe on Facebook, Tumblr, SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube. Just look for Spaceboy Universe. Speaking of YouTube, you can find more than the Spaceboy archive of shows. That's right. There is video content from Spaceboy Music, video interviews, 2-Bit Gamers, and so much more. So go, subscribe. It's your duty, Space Cadets. Can't catch the show live? No problemo. Take the universe on the go with you via Spreaker, SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. That is the way we love to broadcast. And on that magical note, I already know the answer to this, Surlana, and you can kind of hear it in my voice. How are you tonight?
I'm getting worse. Thank you. How you doing?
Well, I'm doing groovy with my deep voice, thanks to my illness.
Yes.
I'm down with the sickness, as the song goes.
Uncle Joe is in the house.
Hey, there we go. Good old Uncle Joe to liven up the interesting broadcast tonight. Yeah, we apologize, to our Space Cadets out there that listen to us, so dedicated an audience that we do have. We did do a Spaceboy Universe show on the 24th, thanks to Donna, because we blessed her with a pseudo Christmas gift, if you will, of coming on the air. We didn't do our other show that we do, Data Bites. We took off on that.
We slept through everything.
Yeah, we were pretty hammered, tired.
Sorry, I have a cough. You have a cough.
Yeah, so right off the bat, disclaimer, putting it out there.
I'm going to cough.
We're going to cough.
And if it gets bad, we'll mute.
Yeah, and our coughs have been pretty traumatic, to say the least.
Oh, you and I are having a competition to see. It's like, I think you coughed up one of those things from Stranger Things, those slugs.
Demogorgon
slugs. Demodog slugs.
I feel like it because, I actually made a reference to something else that I coughed so hard that
aliens.
The back end came out the front end. So
well, you actually coughed so hard you gave yourself a muscle spasm.
Oh, that right before
the show.
Yeah. So, here it is. It's after Christmas, right?
It's bad.
And so I go to family Christmas. Surlana goes to family Christmas up north, and, we went our separate Christmas ways. And but that was fine. We both had a good time. And then, of course, my sister tells me that my niece, bless her soul, got flu. And I'm like, Well, that's great. But 2 days later, I'm doing good. I'm happy. I'm just perfectly fine. And then sometime, I guess later that week, working at work, I opened up a computer at work, and I let the side panel slip. And when that happened, a big puff of dust just shot up in the air. And of course, like an idiot, I'm standing so close to it. I took a deep breath in. It was just the timing, And I was like, great. So that next day I started feeling bad. And then by that weekend, it was like it was murder on me. I was like leaking like a sieve, and I could not stop. I was coughing like crazy, and
you've choked many times.
Oh, yeah.
Lost your breath. And
pretty bad. I mean, it's pretty freaky.
And I was fine. I've been
freaked you
fine
out.
as far as this crud is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
I had another issue previous, which I still have, but we won't get into that because who cares? This started Friday, 2 hours before I left work. I was fine. Then all of a sudden, I'm down with a sickness.
Well, prior to that, like I said, last weekend, New Year's Day weekend, or however you want to call it, New Year's Eve weekend, eventually I did go to the doctor on, I guess it was Tuesday. Yeah, it was Tuesday. And then they said, well, you don't have flu. You apparently you have an acute sinusitis. And I said, okay, that's great. That's fabulous. And they gave me some antibiotics, and it seemed to alleviate some of the pain I was feeling. And I felt like a recovery.
But the cough is not.
The cough is not dissipated in any way. And, I've always had an issue with coughs in general, but this cough just doesn't seem to want to go.
Yeah,
it seems like
it's got a hold on you.
It seems like and I apologize for giving such a descriptive thing about this, but my sinus fluids have kind of gotten more sticky, if you will, and I think that has played into the effect of me choking to death off my sinuses. So, I feel I don't feel
we went
quite
out today, and we had to do something, and I got it bad. We're sitting in a restaurant, and I got into a fit of coughing, and I'm like, they're going to kick me out of this restaurant.
I feel bad for you because, I mean, I know what I'm going through, and then just to be out.
It's more like a sinus cold. It's not a flu. But here's what I've been hearing from work colleagues is that in their families and friends, they have people who have had flu shots within plenty of time for the year who are getting flu. Mm-hmm. So that tells me the shots don't cover everything that's out there. So you can get a flu shot, still get flu.
Well, the thing is, it goes back to I don't have influenza.
Flu.
Thank you. I'll
just say flu.
I'll just call it flu.
Don't make yourself
supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Yeah. So I got antibiotics. I start feeling better. However, once again, a coworker at work has flu, and he's recovering from that. And the thing is, I think we both have headaches. We've both had pressure in our heads. Mm-hmm. Dizziness, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I told you this morning. Yeah. I said, why is the bed moving like this?
And so, I've had those same things. I don't think it's hitting me as hard as it hits you. Me, it seems more it's hitting me more at work. Towards I start off the day great because I sit in the shower when I get up in the morning and kind of decongest, and that's a good 20-minute shower I take because I'm just trying to rejuvenate my soul and to get all the crud out of me. And usually from the morning to about mid-afternoon, that's when everything starts to hit me. Is that I'm tired, I'm ready to lay down.
I'm doing that where I wake up, I'm fine, everything's good, I'm at work, I'm good, and the last hour or 2 hours of work, everything just goes to heck. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that is.
I don't know either, but
but if it's going to happen, at least late in the day.
Yeah, well, I guess so. I mean, yeah, and I found that my appetite hasn't been quite the same lately too.
No, I could tell I've lost weight because I've been like, I'll take 3 bites. I'm like, yeah, I don't want this.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter what it is. I don't want to eat.
I understand. Me, it's been more of a, I guess it's probably some of the meds I take that makes me more full, if you will, and they're
Now,
designed to do that.
The opposite of that is if you ever have to have prednisone, which is a steroid, if you ever have to take that, usually they'll give you that if you've got an infection where you've got tissues that need to be shrunk. Dentists will give it to you a lot if you've got bad dental work because it helps shrink tissues, and people with cancer have also had it, but because same reason. But oh my gosh, there's something about prednisone. It makes you so ravenously hungry. You want it just like the world's your buffet, and you want to eat it. So I hate prednisone.
So there you go. We're back on the air live. It's not a repeat until it's archived.
Sort of live.
Yeah, I guess you could say we're the Walking Dead. And but the cool thing, this is the only cool thing out of when I get sick like this, is I get this great
Barry White
deep voice, and you can tell.
I guess mine is just nasally.
You sound nasally compared to what you normally would sound.
Great.
Sorry, you don't get the benefit. It's benefits of deep Barry.
I go to you go Barry. I go helium. So.
Oh, okay. So what else has gone on this week, Surlana?
Well, like we said, we pretty much I slept through the holidays because I got a week off from work because that's what they give. So I was like, screw it. This is my vacation. I'm going to do it the way I want. Slept till noon, cuddled with a cat. It was cold.
I didn't bother you.
You didn't bother me. It was so awesome. That was so good of you.
Let you live it to the max. And then, of course, that New Year's weekend, it was like I felt like you got a little bit more out of me because it was less of me. Because I was down for the count.
Yeah, you started. Yeah, that's when you started. Yeah, toward the New Year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I noticed today, I feel like a hostage negotiator when it comes to taking a nap on the weekends with you. I feel like I have to sit down with a mediator, like how long? So I just I'm laying down. If you don't like it, divorce me. I don't care.
I just want to know how long you want to take a nap, so I don't bother you. That's all.
Well, I have an alarm on my phone, so you don't have to worry about it.
I just would like to know, because at some point, you'll get up and like, okay, let's go get something before the show to eat, or let's go do this.
That today,
let's go to Walmart to go pick up some.
I think I'm sitting there 20 minutes in bed, and next thing I know, there's this lump beside me, and it's you.
Well,
and you stayed there the entire time.
I know. I put on a video on my phone and just kind of closed my eyes, and it didn't seem like it was that long, but apparently it was because there had been some time passed after the movie had ended, and I didn't even realize the movie had ended. And so I just, as you know, I probably needed some rest too, and I was just I was going to work on music stuff, which is a great segue here to what I want to talk about. And is that Spaceboy music. I've been doing Spaceboy music for a long time. In fact, Spaceboy was created in March of 1999. I took the name Spaceboy from the song from David Bowie and the collaboration with him and the Pet Shop Boys, which seems fitting. And that's where Spaceboy comes from, name-wise. And, I'm a big fan of David Bowie and Pet Shop Boys.
5 years before I met you.
And so 1999, March, Spaceboy is born. The first album, Workshop, is created. And it was uploaded to a streaming service at the time called mp3.com, which was really cool because
I missed that.
It was full of indie artists.
It's all indie.
And you could, you uploaded it. They, if you uploaded the art and everything, you could buy the CD from them.
But there's lots on Spotify.
But I know but mp3.com was something very special.
It was. I really enjoyed it.
A lot of great artists, indie artists. And
the internet as a whole was better back then, too.
So let me continue. So, since 1999, until pretty much now, I've been putting music for the masses out there. I've written over 18 albums worth of music. And then, kind of like Prince, I still got a vault of music that I haven't released. that's, in bits and pieces that, I've worked on, and like, hey, I'm not really satisfied with this. I'll come back to it later. Or projects that I've started, like Christmas music for Ty, and where I've started something cool, but I got to find my groove to get into it. My groove is spread all over the timeline, if you will. So
I like the fact that I have access to your old catalog that you don't have out there.
Stuff that's not, yeah.
It just makes me feel special.
Well, I'm glad you feel special. So
I feel so special.
So anyway, over the years, I've done it, and I haven't.
Don't make me laugh.
It's not been a money maker in the sense of I haven't quit my day job over it. I've made some money out of it, and the other last week, not necessarily while I was dying in bed, I was thinking, what do I really hope and dream for Spaceboy and my music is concerned, and it was really more of the line of getting it out there and letting people enjoy it as much as I've enjoyed it, much as you've enjoyed it, Surlana.
Nobody's enjoyed it more than me.
And, well, that's because you've had the inside connection.
Yeah.
So I came to the conclusion that from here on out, all music on Spaceboy, the official Spaceboy Music website, is free. Yes, I said free. Now, when you go to spaceboymusic.com, and it's important that I talk to you about this now, some of the singles, you'll see some of the songs in single form still has a dollar amount on them. At some point, I'm going to update that. But if you want the music, just download the album. Just download the whole album. If there's something you don't like in it, you don't have to play it.
Delete
you
it.
just do, whatever. But I'm hoping you'll save it. And what I'm encouraging is for you to share it.
I just put that in the chat.
To give it out there to friends who like electronic music, and tell people, hey, where to find it, and because I'm still going to keep producing music. The difference is it's going to be free for the masses. That means that commercially, it's not free. And what I mean by that is, let's say, I've done some projects. Many of y'all have, probably heard the theme for Fade to Black. Where I did the music theme song for Jimmy. So, I mean, if somebody approaches me like that, I'll work with them, and we'll do some kind of licensing thing for them. But my music, I really am trying to aim it for...
It's every single album.
It's every album.
But you have to click download the album.
Download the album.
Not the individual.
No, not the individual tracks, because they still show dollar amounts on them, 99 cents for the track or whatever.
So go nuts.
Yeah,
Get them all.
I mean, we're talking about 18 albums, and then, there's a lot of music in there. I mean, talk about just upgrading your
Making
music.
some people happy there.
Yeah. And this is kind of my gift to everybody that's been loyal to listening to Spaceboy music over the years, and of course, listening to Spaceboy Universe. And, all the music you hear on this show is found there. Excuse me, a little hiccup there. So you can't beat free with a stick hard enough. I mean, this is like something great in the sense that I'm thinking, that you should get, So go to spaceboymusic.com. Click on download album. Any album you see, it says album on it. Click that button. It'll ask you where to save it on your computer. I promise these zip files are not viruses, and I'm not trying to infect your computers. It is legitimately my music, and it is free for the masses. So like I said, my only catch is share it. You download it. If you know a friend that likes electronic music, share it to them. Of course, always play it loud. That's the Spaceboy motto. And get you some today, because it's free, zero, no cost to you, no dineros. So that's the Spaceboy music announcement I wanted to give out to the Space Cadets that have been loyal, and let's create new Space Cadets by passing the music along. Pay it forward. Give them some music. It's free.
Awesome.
So, Surlana, do you have anything else on?
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Sure.
Let me check. What happened there? No, just I have just being sick.
Okay. What are your thoughts about that? Did I surprise you when I said, this is what I want to do?
No, it makes logical sense to me. It's not like we're going to be gazillionaires, so.
I feel I get more.
Technically, my artwork is free if you download it off my DeviantArt.
I just get more
But
satisfaction.
nobody does that.
More satisfaction out of somebody enjoying my music. Like, hey, I heard this, or I really like this. A guest that we're going to be coming up, booking on the 27th, said, hey, I really like your Cosmic Surfer song. And I was like, hey, that's really cool. And
that is a fantastic piece of music.
Recently, I've been working on some remixes. One of which I'm working with Jeff McCall on a remix of one of his songs from Nightlife. As you recall, we had Jeff not too long ago, last year, on the program talking about his music, and on the 18th, it was a great birthday broadcast for me. I enjoyed talking to a fellow musician. He blessed me with some of the vocal tracks from one of the songs to allow me to better remix it, and he hasn't heard it yet. He told me, he sent me an email earlier today that he'll listen to it probably tomorrow. And, because we're talking about across the pond and the time difference and stuff. But so I'm looking forward to getting his feedback on that, which will be really cool.
Excuse me.
Yeah, we did play Lotto last night, which we didn't win. And we're playing Lotto tonight.
Which we won't win.
Powerball, which I believe it's a lot of money. And I always like the kid with Surlana about that. So yeah, we did. Is it Powerball tonight? No, it's well, what is it? I'm not sure if it's Powerball or it is. Yeah, it is Powerball.
Is that the statewide, multi-state?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, our chances of winning are slim, but nothing. One more than nothing is always something. So there's a chance that we could win. Could you imagine what we could do with the network? That would be pretty awesome, wouldn't it?
We could blow this house up and it wouldn't affect us at all.
I know that's a dream of yours, so
blow
I
up
need,
the house,
I
yeah.
need you to check it to the side. I just want to give a shout out to all the Space Cadets that are in there today. As we
Especially
mentioned,
the ones related to us.
Joe, Uncle Joe's there, K28. My lovely sister Stacy's there.
My sister's there too.
Carrie, so glad you could stop by and join us tonight. Of course, our great White North neighbor, Yag Mager, and can't forget him.
Excuse me. What about the whole polar vortex thing?
You mean the bomb vortex or bomb cyclone or whatever they're calling it?
I don't know what they're calling it, but it's funny how if you look at the weather map of the United States, it comes all the way down. It comes right to Houston. It's like, oh,
yeah. There's kind of like
go there.
Yeah, there's like this line.
There's like this force field that's keeping it away from
iguanas
Houston.
are dropping in Florida, and yet Houston is moderately warm.
Yeah, we're like, oh, it's in the 40s. What will we do? But yeah, so maybe because we've already been through enough stuff, we're getting a break.
Also want to say hello to Catalina. I missed her there. I didn't want to leave her out. And
Bev's there.
Oh, Bev. Yes, Bev, our marital coach. She knows.
Yeah.
So a lot of great cadets are made it in tonight, and it's good to see you. I'm sure you've been jonesing for a little bit of the SBU, and we're glad to be back on air. So yeah, but yeah, that weather.
Place your bets now if we make it all 3 hours.
The thing is that the cyclone bomb thing, whatever they're calling it, there are people up there like they're saying like it is just a nor'eastern. Get over it. It's nothing. It's the media wants to play this up like it's some natural disaster or anything.
We have no clue what they're talking about down here.
But no, I'm familiar with it. They do get smacked down every once in a while when these convergence come up there, and it unleashes a lot of snow. In fact, I was watching some video where the water was coming into the city, and what it was happening is the water would come into the city, right? It'd flood. You know what flooding is, right? And
No, I've never seen it before.
And so immediately the waters would freeze over. So you pretty much got cars that are kind of up to a certain point. They're frozen in ice.
That's weird.
It is weird.
That is weird.
A lot of people are out of power, which is normal. We've seen that situation before.
But the whole iguanas falling out of trees is weird.
Well,
man. It's like biblical weirdness.
Well, just they were telling people not to mess with them because they can, bring themselves back out of their blue state and attack you. And I would be a little pissed too if I was frozen and then someone started poking me. And but yeah, we had. I heard that Houston had some of the turtles kind of washed up on the beach. And they were kind of cold and frozen like these iguanas. And, but...
do we need to start knitting little turtle sweaters?
Probably.
Turtle tank tops?
Turtle. So anyway...
Excuse me. I didn't know that was coming.
What, the turtle? Or
no, the coughing.
Oh, okay, yeah. I am so trying to keep that cough under control, as you can tell.
Well, it's funny is you'll start and it'll set me off.
Well, the thing is that I can go...
Like
I'll be perfectly normal, and then all of a sudden, from out of nowhere, I get this cough, and it's, it's like the phlegm is trying to be sucked into my lungs, and I'm desperately trying to get air just to push it out. So, anyway. The iguanas are dropping from the trees in Florida, and I thought that was pretty rough. And
the T's are huddling up in, like, further inland or something like that. I don't know. They're all like grouping up together to get warm.
What, iguanas?
Manatees.
Oh, that's right.
Freshwater,
Yeah, manatees.
They're like hippos or something,
They look kind of hippo-ish.
Yeah, they're kind of very sweet looking.
Yeah, I guess they were supposedly sailors used to think that they were mermaids.
Yes, Catalina, I'm going to go get some hot tea at the first break.
So, with that, let's go ahead and bless Surlana with a chance to get some hot tea and freshen up. And, you're listening to SBU. We're going to try to go the distance. We're in it for speed. So, as you know, we will be back after this.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
All right, we're back. You were worried there, weren't you?
Talk about perfect timing. Holy moly.
Yeah, I'm really trying to put my Vulcan grip around this cough thing tonight. So.
Oh my god. Look, dude, I just had a coughing fit in the kitchen.
Yeah, I know. I heard you.
It was
with
bad.
headphones, with the music going on.
Oh, all right.
Hold on just a second here.
You get us both.
There we go. I know I'm going to cough here again. It's kind of hot in here.
Well, I'm actually liking that for once. All right, so what did we talk about at the beginning of this year? What were our predictions for this year? How do they measure up?
Okay.
Didn't predict I would be sick as a dog, so
Yeah, I didn't either.
well, I apologize. This broadcast is a little bit
This broadcast
haphazard.
is brought to you by the letter C for cough and B for burp.
And PHLM for phlegm. So my research on this was a little is sketchy, but you know what? I'm sick, so there. So one of the things we predicted for this 2017 was there would be a lot more VR, virtual reality.
Yeah.
So we kind of saw that ourselves at Comic Palooza here in Houston at Maker Faire, courtesy of Maker Faire, and at Maker Faire. You and I got to experience VR ourselves for the very first time. So I feel like, okay, now I really know what it's all about. And oh my gosh, it is fun. It really is fun.
I think you'll agree that I got in the goggles and the remote control thingies, and I was having a blast. And the hard thing is that I'm there to do interviews and do all that sort of to cover the event, but my inner child is saying, "Hey, I'm really loving this game. I want to play this game." And I was trying to fight the demon game thing, which is interesting. I bring that up about how they're now saying that game addiction is a real thing. I know it's been a real thing. I grew up around video games, and I know how they can suck you in. But I was really drawn in by this one game I was playing. I can't remember the name, but it was this thing where you had these drones that would pop up, and you'd had to shoot them, and it was just really fantastic. And I was a little concerned because of the glasses. We both wear glasses and stuff, but I didn't really have a bad time because they fit right over my glasses, and they worked great. So had a good time with it. So I read a criticism
about VR saying it's never going to get fully widely adopted because people don't like being in that closed off feeling behind a headset where other people are around and you can't see what they're doing.
Right.
But they can see what you're doing, and the headsets are too bulky, they're not appealing. Then there's the cords and trip hazards. And of course you look weird. But I'm like, so are you having fun?
Well, we've seen some videos on YouTube of people in the fell videos, which have been very funny.
Yeah.
There's one, I guess a grandma had put on the goggles, and she was doing a roller coaster ride, and she was like oh no, and she fell on the floor, and I mean it was funny, and so people are having fun with this VR, Oculus Rift to be exact, and I just see it still hanging out now. Real quick, this kind of ties into a prediction, Surlana, is that I don't think Oculus Rift is going to be with us as we know it, and for in the future. I think the next step is taking these projectors and creating pictures and things.
You're talking about augmented reality, not virtual reality.
Yes,
augmented.
Exactly.
So, but that's what this is saying. Is saying the big VR makers like Oculus Rift and the Sony Vive, they know what we really want. And what we really want is augmented reality glasses where you can still see the real world going on around you, but get immersed in the fake world. But we're not there yet.
I mean, some of the concepts that I've seen for augmented reality is just really awesome. Some of the practical everyday things you could do is you could look at, say, hey, I'm looking for food, and it would pop up and
for
tell
instance,
you things. Or
Pokemon
driving.
Go.
Pokemon Go is another good example of that could be used for augmented reality. And I mean, just the different things you could do are just phenomenal with augmented reality. Now, some of the games that I've seen are really awesome because, like, you could have aliens busting out of the walls and you're trying to shoot them. And, I mean, just the idea of combining reality with that kind of virtual sense, calling it, of course, augmented reality. I think that that's the next big leap into the future. I do,
too.
I mean, it's an inevitability. But since we've been introduced to holograms on the holodeck, I think
that's what we really want.
That is the goal of the future.
Touchable holograms.
Touchable holograms. Interactive. Just the hologram brought to us.
Photons,
the holodeck brought to us. So I think ultimately that's what we want to see in the future.
So is VR dead? It had an uprising. Sony sold 2 million PlayStation VR devices since 2016. Google Cardboard is the mobile version of VR. Google sold 10 million of those just in 2014. So, Samsung sold 6.7 million VR headsets in 2017. So,
I don't think it's going
it was
anywhere.
popular.
It's
so,
popular.
I read, when I was reading this, that the second generation of VR is going to be one with less cables and cords. It will be a standalone device, not attached to your PC or gaming console.
Yeah.
So it's not going away. It's being developed. So I think that prediction we did was pretty solid.
The thing is that over time, when a new piece of technology is introduced, for example, TVs. Flat screen TVs used to be over $10,000. Now they're at an affordable range that the average consumer can purchase them.
I remember exactly what we paid for our first one.
Very similar. Yeah, I know. And it was still kind of bulky.
But that sucker lasted a long time.
The thing is, with this Oculus Rift, they've sold quite a few of them. It's been very popular. And now that they've learned how to miniaturize or to make it more compact. New technology comes along, and maybe a system board can be made smaller, or maybe a processor is faster. So it's an inevitability that things are going to get smaller and more efficient, to where it'll be like putting on a pair of glasses, if you will.
That's what they're hoping for.
And
that's what people really want
so
right now.
That's what I see, is you're going to further see like things like Oculus Rift get smaller and more efficient, and to where it'll be just like, hey, pull out a pair of glasses out of a box and put it on.
But when a new technology comes out, there's always a frenzy to get it. Remember when Wii came out and it was so groundbreaking?
Which it was at that time. Nintendo stuck to its guns. I mean, it was still the oddball, which it's still the oddball. Switch, I hear, is still. It's all right.
You played with it.
I got to
at
play,
the mall.
Yeah, and I enjoyed it. Well,
good day at the mall.
I enjoyed it because it was on an 80-inch TV.
Yeah,
and it was like it was huge.
It was the Nintendo Pavilion inside the mall,
and I got to play with it a little bit once again.
Very nice.
It was Mario. I was getting hooked into it and enjoying it.
But it was Mario. Like, I've never seen this. There's no more side scrolling. This is first person open world.
Yeah, open world. I mean, we've come a long way since open world. And so, but that's I guess a prediction for the future is Oculus Rift, other devices VR are going to get smaller, and it's not going anywhere.
So let's remember this for 2018.
But I still think that the beast that's inside the box is the augmented reality.
Yes, that's the way. That's the way to go.
That is the way to go. I think ultimately in the years to come, what we all want, any diehard Trekker at once, is
the holodeck.
The holodeck, exactly. That's where we
have an ideal. We have a goal. Let's get there. So.
Yeah. So there you go. That's VR for you in a nutshell, Surlana.
All right. Another thing that we covered at the beginning of 2017 was a prediction was that, well, crap. Sorry, got excited. We said that LP or vinyl records sales would decline for 2017. Well, as usual, they were wrong. Vintage is always the way to go as younger generations continue to embrace vinyl. In fact, vinyl LP record sales is overtaking digital music growth, if you can believe that. Everything old is new again. Vinyl has been on its way back for 30 years. And how has it been able to do that? Well, the little small mom and pop labels and keep pressing records and little shops and online auctions and buying things like that. So they're keeping the faith and they're keeping the fans and the artists going.
Well, let me interject here, Surlana. I keep saying, I'm a big fan of the Pet Shop Boys. So, what they've been doing is they've been pressing albums too, as well.
They've never stopped. They've never stopped.
And which I was going to say that they've always kind of pressed an album. They do love vinyl. There's something romantic about playing a vinyl album. It has the pops, the clicks of going on an album, and you really want me to cough, don't you? And I'm trying not hard to. The behind the scenes stuff that
Space you can't see because we don't have webcams.
So the thing is that it's really something wonderful. When I was a kid back in the 70s, I had I had a 45 record player. And then occasionally we would go down to the record store and, I'd pick up some 45s. I told you one of my first 45 was the Bee Gees, If You Leave Me Now.
Somebody gave me almost like a toy. It was very plasticky and light record player with plastic speakers.
Yeah.
And just 45s.
Right.
And it was all Bee Gees and Barry Gibb and ABBA.
Right. So that, from us, since we got to experience a record player. In fact, I do remember Columbia House records and tapes, and remember buying some albums. So there's a lot of good feelings you get from listening to a record.
So vinyl sales make up only a small portion of all music sales. It's just 11%. Physical album sales, according to Nielsen. But the data there shows that there's growth in LP sales, and it's going past digital downloads. So it's continuing to draw in a new generation of music.
So
fans.
I wonder if people they want some kind of physical media. I mean, it's been great having the ability to
I guess
have.
it depends on the album, the artist,
Right.
Like some of these stuff, from the 70s and 80s, you probably want that feeling like a Pink Floyd stuff, and
right. Oh yeah,
the pop and
Pink
the hiss,
Floyd. Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven, and albums like that. And I've got this.
It
one.
ain't cheap to buy a
Boston,
record player.
Oh, Boston would be a great album to have too.
You think it'd be like $30 to get a record player? Now it's like 80.
No, they've got some great. Equipment out there, and you can get. So I guess we're both in agreement that vinyl is not going anywhere. In fact, I believe that you should see still a steady incline, incline.
Well, what is it about that format? Like you said, it's a romantic thing, but why would somebody way younger than us,
like millennials,
want? Yeah.
Well, millennials, I think, in the sense they find things like that more practical.
Really?
I think that it's something that allows them to disconnect. They're into a lot of do-it-yourself. They're into a lot of making things and repurposing things. And vinyl is something that kind of ties in with that feeling of that. So that's what I think millennials are tapped into.
I'm whatever is on the other side of that coin, because I like rare, remixed and mashed up things that you can only find as digital media.
Well, that's why I don't think digital is not going anywhere. But I think that there is an appreciation
would you
for playing
put
music
your stuff on vinyl if you could?
I've never have, but I've always thought about doing it, and I would do it.
Expensive.
Something to look into, and I don't own a record player. I'd have to definitely go out and buy one. I've thought about revisiting LPs and
Half price books you can still get
and play music,
tapes and LPs and books.
CDs.
The last little bit of media we have left that's physical is there, and it's all kind of like.
I really think in some
nostalgic
aspects
in there.
it ties into having your hands on media. I mean, it's nice and convenient to be able to log into a computer and play music, any kind of music. You have a playlist or whatever, and hear it, and go to another computer that's and
Like,
hear it.
For instance, you know how we used to go into like Barnes and Noble, and they have that whole CD section of music. Now it's like, I don't even think that even exists anymore.
No.
Did they close it out?
I'm really surprised Barnes & Noble is still
It still
in business.
exists. Because you go in there, look at how much of the store's actually physical books. A lot of it's like gift items,
Right.
Starbucks, toys, games.
Right. They're not much of a
Funko Pop,
bookstore.
yeah.
It's almost like they've been trying to transition away
Like a
from
pop
books
culture-y thing.
and into a pop culture thing. Exactly.
But they do have cool things in there. So
They do, but I really, I don't know. I've got some feelings about Barnes & Noble I won't get into.
I really
but
think the last bastion of books has to be children. To actually hold a book, see the pictures, pop-up books, the images, the interactive things.
Well, the things that I'm seeing with kids these days is they're glued to an iPhone or an iPad or,
Well, that's the parents' fault.
that's not necessarily parents' fault. That's just technology today. I mean, could you imagine if we were kids and we had access to things like iPads and
I tell
access
you
to
what,
the internet?
When I was doing my brief stint in grad school,
Yeah.
which the only reason I just quit because there was no time and no money, having the Kindle Fire for the textbooks, that would have completely revolutionized my entire college experience because I graduated right before the internet really hit big, before in college. Gives you an idea how old I am. But my goodness, having the ability to make notes, like highlight text and make your own little note, put a little keyword in there, like I need to come back and check this because I know I'm writing this paper, and you could go back and like go right to that reference without having to sit there and thumb and make little notes and post-its. And it revolutionized the way I studied and read and wrote and did homework. It was awesome.
Well, I've told you my more recent revisit to college was kind of a night and day experience. The ability to get on the internet and find classes that I needed and not have to go to the school and deal with some counselor and say, well, do you have this class? What do you have that class? It really appealed to my OCD as far as going through all the classes, or I could do this, and I think it made me more efficient than it did when I was back in college back in the day. And
being online has revolutionized the educational experience. As far as getting into college, I think it's made it accessible somewhat easier. It's pretty straightforward. I'm like, there's the instructions on how to do it right there. And then I guess that depends on the institution you're at. So it's being able to take courses fully online. It's mind-blowing. I would have killed to be able to do this when I was in college the first time.
So circling back to the original thing, albums.
We're done.
LP. You would say they're not going anywhere?
They're not going away.
Yeah.
They're going to overtake digital download sales at some point, maybe.
I'm going to disagree with you, but I still think they'll be strong in the marketplace because there's a need for physical media and people still enjoy it.
That's what I said. It's going to overtake it.
No, I don't think album sales are going to overtake digital media.
We'll see.
See, I love our marriage now. We agree to disagree.
or I just wait till you fall asleep and I will exact my revenge.
And stab me with your steely knife. And but we continue on. So what else you got over there?
Well, let's do one more thing before the break.
Okay,
Because
that's great.
this will fit perfectly into the 10 minutes. I made a few pet peeve predictions of things I would like to see go away, but I didn't necessarily know they would or not for 2017. And one of the things that they said was going to happen was Adobe Flash.
And
that it would begin to end, but not really. So here's what's happened.
I'd love to hear the story because I really feel like it's the Walking Dead of applications.
Sorry, it's the tea is
I see.
Heating me up
I
here.
felt hot, and I was like, finally, she feels like
Well,
it's hot in here.
I'm drinking tea, Earl Grey, hot.
Very hot.
I was reading Wired.com about this because in the article I was reading there was dated July of 2017. So that's the most recent I could find. So in July of last year, Adobe said they had a real end-of-life date for Flash. What is it? Wait for it. Adobe Flash will be fully defunct in the year 2020.
Okay.
Which is 2 years now. And it sounds like it's a long time away, but it's only 2 years. So, what does this mean when it finally goes away? Well, the internet's going to be faster, safer, and smoother. But without it, what's going to happen? Well, the heaviest hit sites are going to be games. Online web browser embedded games that you go to on your desktop or your laptop, not necessarily your phone. So, interactive learning companies are going to get hit pretty hard. Enterprise applications, a lot of them won't work, or they'll start acting in unpredictable ways. It's a loss to all those legacy browser-based gamings, like I said. But they may be the only ones shedding a tear. Now, the main issue of we've always said for Flash is security. It is very exploitable. It's a favorite exploitation for malware. A lot of security holes, and that's one of the biggest reasons for abandoning Flash. It's also just obsolete because there's so many new web standards that have taken over, and they're better. They're so much more improved since HTML5 came out. Even Adobe's invested in HTML5 technologies like WebGL and WebAssembly. So I guess we're finally leaving ActionScript, which is how that's built Flash. So we've been living in a Flashless world online, and you don't really know it since 2015. Google Chrome and Firefox have started auto-blocking Flash, meaning if you want to run it, you have to click to enable it. Microsoft Edge started running the click to enable in 2016. So, of course, what does this leave us? Yes, dear Internet Explorer is the only browser left standing that's still having a torrid love affair with Flash, though it will start to disable it by default in 2019. So it turns out Steve Jobs was right about Flash. You're never going to miss it not being on your iPhone.
Thing is, it's already embedded into Edge. And, it's like, I'm just tired of it. I'm ready to go. Don't get me wrong, Adobe. I love your products, but this is one of those products that just needs to go away. And you should bring on Voco. And
don't go there because there's a section for that.
Okay, I won't.
Don't go there.
All right, I won't. Don't go there. Snap.
Do you have any more things to say about Flash? Or?
Well, I was going to say, we were promised this big HTML5 thing.
We have it.
But I don't feel like it's being implemented like it should be.
Well, it's going to be.
I hear a lot of complaints from the web designer of the family, and it just seems like the web is still a pain in the rear. But I agree with you. If Flash
it's IE that's the pain in the rear. So.
Well, if you're on a new Windows 10, you're forced to either use Edge or you could use Firefox or Chrome, depending on what vanilla flavor you like. I forgot Safari. I guess you could use that too if you wanted. But
speaking of phones, I purchased new old stock because I wasn't ready to commit to a 7, 8, or a 10 iPhone because I didn't want to go to a radical new way of earbuds or charging. I wasn't ready for it. So I bought a new iPhone 6 Plus because my phone did something crazy. But here's the thing, it still works. It still works, but it was getting difficult.
I think I'm going to take it to get it fixed, but
I'll tweet a picture of what my iPhone S looked like on Twitter, so you can see what I'm talking about. Why I had to get a new old one, but yet it still works. So
now her phone is as big as mine.
yeah, so you still have your iPhone 6 Plus, and so now we have the same, kind of like the same phone. So, but another thing I predicted they were going to release 2017 was cheesecake M&Ms. Got them. They were so, whatever.
Okay.
And another thing we talked about briefly was there in 2017, there was going to be a Model 3 Tesla was going to come out. Well, it did, but it had all these production issues and delays because there was a huge demand and they couldn't keep up with the supply.
Mm-hmm.
So they're on back order still.
Wow.
35K. So, the next thing I talk about is going to be a little bit more beefy, so I'm going to pop down the next item.
Mm-hmm.
Another pet peeve that I was hoping would go away in 2017, but it did not, was emotional blackmail Facebook posts. This is just a personal wish. Boy, did it not go away. If you do this, bless your heart, could you please send me a private message and explain it to me? I would like to know what this is. And this is, let's see how many people will share this. I bet no one's going to pay attention to me like, I need to get so many likes on this. And
Okay.
I'm like, I can't.
At first,
deal
in
with
full
this.
disclosure, Surlana doesn't realize I kind of pulled one of those numbers recently on a photo I posted of myself.
Well, nobody takes you seriously. That's different.
Well, that's good. As long as you don't take me seriously, then that's always perfect.
Don't take it seriously, folks.
So, yeah, I just put one out there just to test the waters.
If you ever see me do it, you know I've got a brain injury.
Oh, there's something wrong with you. Unless it's the cat Muffin, then I know
Logging
you're...
on the keyboard.
Yeah, something like that.
Trying to log into Twitter. Anyway, so I don't get this. Oh, let's see who's my real friend. I'm like,
Oh,
can you see my post? Do you see them? Then we're friends. I see your post. We're friends. If you question my affection and loyalty to you, send me a private message and we'll talk about it like adults.
okay, so Surlana, I have to do this for you, right? So you got...
I don't have a goat to get.
Well, apparently you got that goat.
Anyway, let me put this cute little photo up here for y'all to look at on my Twitter.
So while you're doing that, Surlana, it is pretty much top of the hour.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll go to break, and Surlana will put that out on Twitter, and so you can take a look at what has happened to her phone. And so we'll be right back after this. Hi, I'm Spaceboy,
And I'm Surlana
and you're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
on the Paranormal UK Radio Network.
right. Hey, this is your lovable Space Boy. And for all the latecomers, I just wanted to re-announce or proclaim the announcement that I did earlier in the broadcast. And that is that spaceboymusic.com, all the music there is free. I did not stutter. It's free. No dineros, no cents, no buckaroos. It's all free. Now, the thing is that it's free for the average user, not for commercial use. That's a different thing. If you want to use any of the music for commercial use, you'll need to still come to me, and we can work out an arrangement. But you, as the average user that likes music so much...
Give him an offer he can't refuse.
Yes. You just go to spaceboymusic.com, and I think Catalina has already gone there, and she downloaded... I guess some music already. So all you have to do is click the album. Now you
Be
will
like Catalina and get music.
The thing is, you can go there and you'll see that some of the tracks are still like 99 cents. To bypass that, all you have to do, like I said, is click the download album, whether it be Virtual Kiss, whether it be Workshop, whether it be Unique Technique, which is the latest one, and soon the upcoming album will be The End of the Beginning, which will be a free album that you can download, no charge.
When it gets
when it gets put up there, and we'll tell you when. And that was during the break. That was the self-titled song for the album. So once again, I can't stress this enough. Now, what does this mean? It means that you can download it, and I'm encouraging you to download it for free and to give it to people to say, hey, here's this cool cat that makes some music, and I got it free by just going to spaceboymusic.com. So share it, download it for yourself. It's all free, and remember to always play it loud. So that's spaceboymusic.com, where the music is free. So there you go. That's just bringing it up again, and I hope you enjoy the music.
Alrighty.
Now
back to our regularly scheduled program. No, I told him. I said, make sure you announce that again. So
we were all in the same sync.
Okay. Another thing I had a pet peeve about was I was hoping would go away in 2017, but it didn't. Was fake news. It is here to stay. Now, what I was talking about, again, is people posting spurious claims on social media. And I'm not talking about the ones who are doing this on purpose. I'm talking about regular folk, you and me, that are being duped into thinking something that's news, and it turns out it's completely fake and made up. And what I was frustrated about is the fact that nobody took the time to investigate something that sounds so crazy. Because usually, 9 times out of 10, it's never quite what it says, or right. So, not only is fake news not going away, we've always heard, hey, don't believe everything you read. Well, now you can't believe everything you see or hear. We've got too much technology now that we can recreate and manipulate audio and video, and it's only going to get scarier and scarier and scarier. Sure, Spaceboy wants to embrace this, but I'm looking at the legal and moral implications that terrify me. So I was looking into this, and Stanford University has some software that can manipulate video footage so well. They did this video of public figures, and it allowed a second person to get into this video and change the facial features of one of these public figures by talking into a webcam, and they would almost like puppeteer the mouth, but the way this technology is, it's so seamless and convincing that it looks like the person is saying whatever the second puppeteer is saying. So you can make a person on a video say, and it look like they say whatever you want. Now, they're at the University of Alabama at Birmingham. They've got a research team that's working on voice impersonation software. They could take 3 to 5 minutes of audio, like from YouTube videos or a radio show like this one, and they can create a synthesized voice that fools humans and voice biometric security systems used by some banks and smartphones. And then you could talk into a microphone, use the software, and it will convert the words to sound like they are being spoken by the original, they're calling it the victim, whether that's over the phone or on a radio show. So how do you believe anything now?
Well, even prior to this, if I could interject, Surlana, I've always said, how can you trust the untrustable? Because we're at a state with technology where things can mimic things so easily. It's kind of like Data when he pulls his best Picard and encrypts the ship down. But
well, he just recorded people. He's a robot.
Well, I think that there's similar things that you haven't reached that one particular software that Adobe of all things.
Well, it's coming up here.
Yeah. So but
you interjected.
I'm sorry. Interjections are always fun here at the Universe.
So how do you believe anything? Well, they're saying if you're looking at a video, look at the shadows. Is the video quality? Is it grainy? Start learning how to read these things. You don't even need a doctored video to get people to believe something now, which is crazy. So, is the audio synced perfectly? Does it look right? Is it are the shadows the right size? Are they acting weird? Now, we've kept telling you about Adobe Voco, which is like Photoshop for audio or speech. So how do you prepare for this? Well, you know what you're going to have to do is they're going to have to start giving classes on media literacy, how to spot a fake video audio file. And we're going to have to reinforce critical thinking and common sense. How do you do that? I don't know. I got it through being an English major and having smart parents. So I don't know what the upcoming generation is going to do, but I'll be dead by then, so I don't really care what happens.
Well, thank God we have senators up there on the Hill that can really recognize the trueness of a clip. In fact, I do have a clip from the senator talking about one of these media clips. If we can kind of listen in.
Okay, cool.
Give me a second here.
Is it like content?
Friendly for every, yes, it is.
No,
content.
is it like public domain?
It's a
fake. Oh, nobody cares.
Anyway,
we should talk about that later.
Yeah, we will talk about that later.
Anyway, so just know that there's going to be a time, or there's a time now. Not everything you read is real. Not everything you see is real. Not everything you hear could be real.
Well, we're close to the dawning of artificial intelligence, so it's an inevitability that we're going to have artificial intelligence write reports, write news stories. In fact, they're already kind of doing that now with bots, with some news programming, and so it's coming. It's an inevitability. It's how we take in that news. I mean, we don't need, I guess, robots to be faked out by other people right now.
But speaking of robots,
AI,
artificial intelligence. Well, we said that this was going to go crazy in 2017, but here's the thing: is I have read so many different articles on this saying all the different things that happen. So what had really happened was there was a 300% growth in the AI industry in 2017, but as they predicted, very few breaking innovations. But what they said has come out of it is reinforcement learning. So getting computers to learn like people through trial and reward. IBM is doing the deep learning AI that mimics how the human brain works. Meaning IBM claims to have come up with some technology that is both faster than and more accurate than their deep learning technology. So whatever that means, but
not to mention the what's being held behind Google's curtain, if you will.
AI is going to be empathetic and intelligent. So it's going to get more powerful, a little scary. For 2018, it's going to be, like I said, it's not going away. It's AI and AU and maybe VR are going to...
So correct my impression, Surlana. You feel the gloom and doom of this technology, whether it be being able to have people recreated with a voice or whether...
Yes, they're saying where this is going toward is AI that responds to voice, your voice, which we already have with Alexa, Siri, Echo, whatever that thing Google has. Can't think of the name of it. But so that's not going away. That's only going to get crazier. So, those are some of the key enhancements. They'll start to enable.
But isn't that that's still
some of our devices
an extension of wanting to create the Star Trek universe for a lot of people?
Computer.
Earl Grey.
Hot.
Talking to devices to make our world a little bit more efficient or to help us out.
Well, they're saying we'll start seeing our digital devices become a little bit more human.
Mm-hmm.
It'll probably be. It won't be artificial. It'll be actual intelligence. That's scary. Now we're talking about like
creating life in a way, a digital life is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to bring Trek into this all again, but it reminds me of the episode where Data, where is he as the sentient life
The
form?
Measure of a Man.
Yes,
is the name of the episode.
I mean, we're closing in on that particular episode.
I highly recommend you watch that episode, if nothing for the moral and ethical questions it raises. It's a well-written episode.
They made Johnny Five, recognized as a sentient being, and he became a citizen.
That's not Johnny Five. It's that
Johnny Five. That was here's Johnny.
No, you're talking about that robot.
Robot chick.
The robot chick is a citizen in Dubai or something, an official citizen?
No, I'm talking about the classic movie.
Oh, God, that's so long ago.
Yes, but I'm saying...
That's actually happened in real life.
Well, I understand it's happened in real life, but, people are crazy like that. Maybe they're trying to get a little...
We got out of our sick bed to do this show, Donna.
So, the thing is that, I just think that, when you try to push the boundaries of technology, and it's going, what
towards singularity of AI.
If you prick me, do I not leak? Kind of situation.
That was a very good episode. If you got Netflix or Amazon, go Star Trek: The Next Generation, The Measure of a Man,
or
go watch it.
CBS All Access.
I know you're just pushing all that, aren't you?
Yeah, I know. So, I don't want to get on. That's a different thing. I'll talk about.
We'll talk about that if we run short.
Okay. Anyway, so
another thing that's kind of cuckoo nutty we said was going to happen in 2017. There was going to be the first human head transplant.
Right.
Well, this was supposed to be Italian neurosurgeon Sergio Canavero was going to be the first ever doctor to transplant a human head to a different body. He was going to do a 31-year-old Russian man who was suffering from spinal muscular atrophy. He volunteered to undergo the surgery. So the doctor pitched it to the American Academy of Neurological and Orthopedic Surgeons in hopes he could convince them to assist him before the end of 2017. Well, he and a team of Chinese doctors severed spinal cords of 15 rats and attempted to reattach 9 of them. All but one of the rats survived for an astonishing 30 days after the experiment. Now, it's still unknown if he's been able to recruit enough support to perform the surgery, and I couldn't find any evidence that he's attempted the surgery, the real surgery.
Mm-hmm.
But he got like that close. So, also we said the JFK files were to be released in 2017. Well, some files were released, but were these the ones that we were hoping for? I don't know, but I will put the link to the files in the chat room. There they are right there. That's the JFK documents.
I think that they were, but they were still redacted.
They drew lines through the good stuff.
There's still some things that point out there, whether people be living or dead, and their families might be affected by the disclosure of that information. And so, although we did get some information out of the JFK files released, there's still some more that needs to be released. And part of that got held back was due to the CIA.
Yes. It's always going to come down to them because they're the ones in charge of the government, shadow government. Anyway, so we saw that there was going to be the first foldable phone in 2017. Well, I didn't find any evidence of anybody buying it, but I saw photos of it or mock-ups of it. So that was going to be a Samsung thing, I think.
Well, in comparison to the fold-up phone that you're talking about with the forgive me, everyone, transparent film, they already have using the application for these thin televisions that you can pretty much put on the wall like wallpaper.
That's cool.
Yeah, and of course they have to run a cable that comes from the bottom into a sound bar that actually powers everything, but it's flat enough that you look at it, it's very thin.
Wow, that's cool. Well, we also saw the commercialization of space with private vehicles, privately funded vehicles, taking our people to space, to the ISS.
I believe,
and why not?
I believe also this past year it was Elon Musk wants to go to Mars.
Sure, why not just go? Let him go. What's the big deal?
Well, those people might have an opinion on that are still waiting for their back-ordered Tesla cars.
I don't think he's got anything to do with that. There was going to be predicted the first high-speed rail in California for 2017. Well, they started construction, and if the construction keeps on schedule and the funds don't dry up, the train will be completed by 2029.
Now, is this maglev or is this Hyperloop?
That I don't know. Kay would probably know. K28, that's questions for
He's
you.
the K28 expert of trains.
Yeah. So, they also predicted electric car sales would go up in 2017, and they did by 47%.
Mm-hmm.
We also were going to get the first laundry folding robot. Well, it exists, but it's in prototype, and it was shown at the, what do you call it, CES, that big computing electronic.
Right.
Yeah,
Consumer
2017, Consumer Electronic 2017.
Exactly.
The robot that folds your laundry called Foldamate.
To be honest with you, if you'd actually watched that show, Halt and Catch Fire, you would know what that is.
The Foldamate is the brainchild of a U.S. Israeli company of the same name. It's a laundry hamper of clothes that will fold it in about 3 minutes. I don't know. It just seems anal to me to fold things. If you can't just pull it out the jar and hang it up and it's fine, I ain't dealing with it,
Mm-hmm.
But, so, it didn't come available for commercial use, but it's a dream that's out there. They got close. So, let's talk about things we didn't predict that actually happened, that were kind of, what? The crew of the United Express Flight 3411 at O'Hare beating up a doctor and throwing him off a plane. That happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, it turns out that 52.99% of all web traffic from the first quarter of 2015 to the third quarter of 2017 was mobile devices, not computers and laptops. They were tablets and phones. So I think that's interesting. So it's almost split between the platforms.
But I'm not really surprised because, I guess society is very mobile. And so, I will be the first to admit that, in order to keep up with, information on, telling people about movies or just cool gadgets or whatever, I need something mobile like that. And, of course, Netflix is one of my crown jewels of movie watching on my phone next to Amazon.
Yes.
And so...
Well, for me, it's YouTube, Amazon, Netflix. That's fine. Anyway, well, something I mentioned on the show from 2017, just briefly, was that there was going to be bacteria that eats plastic. Now, I took this to mean they were going to develop this in the lab. Maybe that's what it meant, but on IFLscience.com, they say bacteria are evolving to eat plastic that we dump in the oceans.
And humans. Sorry.
So
it's an inevitability.
Isn't that fascinating? So, because it's
That's great. Let's throw some bacteria in the ocean, and once it gets finished eating plastic, it'll
there are
start eating
floating
other things.
continent-sized patches of
Oh yeah, I know in the
plastic.
Pacific. Yes.
In both oceans, and new ones are getting formed in the Arctic.
Wow.
Some of the uninhabited islands there are drowning in plastic. Now, based on the amount of plastic we make every year, there's about 1/100th as much plastic floating around as the numbers would suggest. So, there are microbes that are breaking the plastic down. There's a new study. So, it sounds bizarre, but researchers discovered a new species of bacteria was able to shatter the molecular bonds of, okay, and we'll try this, polyethylene terephthalate, or PET, one of the most common forms of plastic. They're literally using it as a food source. Way to go, evolution. You rock. So, PET takes 450 years to completely degrade in the environment. Oh, joy. They eat it in 6 weeks. So, I don't know what nutrients they're trying to get out of the plastic, but go bacteria. So, they suspect that the lack of plastic in the oceans is largely down to these microscopic critters. They've come to the conclusion that other geological processes or counting errors cannot explain this discrepancy between the global rate of plastic production and the underwhelming presence of it in the sea. So you kind of like, okay, well, did they just not say there's continent-sized floating pieces of plastic? Now they're saying, no, okay. But if these bacteria can proliferate across the ocean, it would reduce our negative impact on the ocean. And I don't know, is there a downside for that? What if they evolved to eat something they really shouldn't be eating? Excuse me. But they're saying, let's not rely on these guys too heavily. It's possible that a lot of this plastic is sinking down where we can't see it onto the seafloor and causing, really bad damage to the ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that just absolutely fascinates me that that's happening. Another thing that actually happened in August was the spectacular solar eclipse that swept across North America. And it was pretty jaw-dropping depending where you were in the country. And that was like the buzzworthy thing in the news until, 3-4 days later, Hurricane Harvey hits Houston.
Mm-hmm. Well, it hit more than Houston, but we definitely got hit. This
is probably the most jaw-dropping weather event in my lifetime that I've ever seen, I experienced. So that wasn't predicted. Now, I'm looking at the time we've got here left based on this big meaty topic.
So let's go ahead and take the bottom of the hour break, Surlana. And when we come back, we will have more Spaceboy Universe with Spaceboy and Surlana. We're exploring the universe tonight, people, and we're so glad that you can join us. So don't touch that dial.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
And we're back. That's right. Spaceboy Universe is live tonight and recorded if you're listening to it beyond Saturday. But it's all good in the neighborhood. Wouldn't you agree, Surlana?
Well, it depends on how sick you are.
Yeah. So I guess we left off and you were about to get into a meaty
subject.
Meaty
We're
subject.
talking about things that actually happened in 2017 that weren't predicted, but were like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they didn't. We did know about the solar eclipse. That had been predicted for I don't know how many centuries. But anyway, what happened in 2017 that I found fascinating, and the reason we keep an eye on this is because you and I are content creators. We do post this show on our YouTube channel, so we're involved with YouTube. Something very interesting happened to YouTube this year. And it's called the Adpocalypse. And it got attributed to many different content creators or videos on YouTube. But first, you want to know, what does this mean?
Right.
Well, big advertisers started pulling their ads from monetized videos on YouTube. It started around March, and it went through May of 2017. We're talking big major brands here. Coca-Cola, Dr. Pepper, Johnson & Johnson, even the UK government. I guess they were advertising on videos.
Why not? Come visit the UK.
Yeah.
Your friendly neighbors.
So.
But they're not. But I got to say, in
the
full disclosure,
boycotts.
that the Canadians are more friendly.
Stop pandering for a moment. So it was basically a boycott arose from these advertisers, because they were getting word that there was extremist content in some videos that they had monetized, that they put their ads in. So, like, for instance, in May, Kendall Jenner was featured in this stupid Pepsi ad on YouTube. It caused criticism from all over and, the press. Basically, in the video, she gives a Pepsi can to a police officer during a protest between civil rights activists and the police. And the Pepsi just resolves all the tension of both groups. That's like, what?
Well, you know me. I look at a Pepsi and I go, ugh.
Pepsi can't solve jack, let alone a race riot. I don't even know what it's good for. I guess to have with a moon pie, but...
No, you don't have a Pepsi with a moon pie.
No, it's RC Cola. I'm sorry.
Well, that's a good second up.
I don't think anybody outside of the South knows what RC Cola is.
Okay, we're testing our space cadets now. If you know what a moon pie is,
or
please,
RC Cola,
go ahead and put that in the chat that you know what it is.
Anyway, I associate RC Cola and moon pies with Arkansas for some reason. So anyway, Kendall Jenner was in that video, and it was pretty stupid. So they saw this as police brutality, interacting with the citizens in that video, being solved by drinking Pepsi. So the public went, what? No way. So Pepsi removed all their ads from YouTube, which I think gave us all great comfort, because who wants to see that anyway?
Right.
But this just started the ball rolling way downhill. So it gets worse. So when the summer came along, the only ads on YouTube were being only featured on family-friendly content videos and channels on YouTube. This led to a big uprising among content creators, especially the small ones who couldn't catch a break. Even PewDiePie, who has 53 or 54 million subscribers, he's now still the most subscribed channel on YouTube. Love him or hate him or not know him. He started mocking this by saying, "Oh, family-friendly Felix here." That's his real name, Felix. And but oddly enough, he ended up being the one that got credited for the adpocalypse. Well, is he responsible or not? Well, let's look at what he did. The first thing he did last year is he pulled this stunt from this website called Fiverr. Fiverr is a site where you could go and pay $5 to get various services from people. Mm-hmm. You could be like, hey, I need a logo design for $5. Hey, can you update my website for $5? Hey, can you make a video giving me a shout out for $5? It's anything you can think of that somebody will take $5 for. So He pulled a stunt. He found these guys in like Africa or some third world country who, for $5, they'll write whatever message you want on a sign and hold it and say it out loud. Well, he had them say some anti-Semitic slurs, thinking it was a joke. Well, he got backlash for that. And he got, it was huge. And that is what really did it. But then, later in the year, he goes and says the N-word not once, but twice in 2 separate live gaming streams. So it's like he didn't learn his lesson or he didn't care. But the odd thing about the whole thing, as outraged as people were, as much controversy as came out of that, as the fallout came and he started getting demonetized too, he's barely making any money, he still has 53 million subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
So all this controversy is not hurting him. But he's not the only one that's bitter. Now, I have been watching him for maybe 2 or 3 years on and off because he is the most subscribed, and it's kind of, sometimes it's like watching a car accident happen.
Well, to be honest with you, we kind of watch him to keep an eye on him. So, I mean, he's relevant.
He's relevant.
And he...
My take is he's still in his 20s. I think he's like 27, 28. He's just an idiot. He's just a young idiot. I don't feel threatened by him, but he does get credited with the adpocalypse. So what actually happened here? Around April, YouTube updated its policies to get more control over what kinds of videos can make money from ads. First-time channels to YouTube have to reach 10,000 lifetime views before they can even begin to think about generating revenue from ads. Then you have to go through an application process through YouTube to see if you're can be approved for partner content probing.
And to be honest with you, that's kind of where we're at. We're in this limbo. But anyway, continue.
So this gives YouTube more time to review new channels, and so they started cleaning house like crazy. And so this led to Felix getting on YouTube, where he revealed his metrics after all this went down to show how little money he's making off his content. So I found this guy. His name is Brendan Gahan. You know, that's the same last name as the leader of Depeche Mode. Gahan. He's the founder of Epic Signal, which is a digital ad agency. He said the dude, meaning Pewdie, is going to be fine. He can make no money in ads, and he's still got a massive marketing potential for himself and anything he wants to sell for the rest of his life. YouTube is just a sliver of a much larger pie. Now, one of the lucrative deals he had going on was this thing called Scare PewDiePie, which was through YouTube Red. Well, that was produced by Disney. They dropped him like a hot potato. So, but he also mocked them, saying they went through all that and the filming and everything, and he still got paid. So no one will ever see it, but he still got paid. So he wasn't too bitter about it. Now, what does this mean? I'm not going to talk about this right now. I'll talk about this predictions. Something just happened on YouTube, but that happened in the last few days, so that's 2018. I can't talk about Logan Paul right yet. So we'll get to him in a minute. So what this means, right, and for 2017, the field is wide open for competition. And for 2018, some other platform could swoop in and give YouTube a run for its money. But if you've got all these big name advertisers gun shy, what's the point of trying to move to another platform? So now Pewdie did say he would be moving his gaming content to its Twitch channel, not on YouTube. Now another thing, sorry, I read or heard about the many complaints in gaming YouTube channels is the auto flagging feature. Now, I have a handful of gamers that I watch, certain guys.
We both watch.
Because I find them to be entertaining. It's not so much the game, it's just how they are with each other. You know, they're funny. They would be in a game saying, dude, don't say that, you're going to get my video flagged. That's not family-friendly content, and they were being cheeky.
Right.
Well, the auto-flagging feature in YouTube checks for ad-friendly material and flags it if it's not, meaning your content, your video, can get demonetized if it doesn't meet the ad-friendly standard. They updated that algorithm in October, so before then it was pretty upsetting for content creators. So they improved it. They added an appeals process for creators, a manual one, not an automatic one. So basically what happened is Adpocalypse shook YouTube. It shook the faith that content creators on YouTube have in advertising as a source of income. It's now maybe no longer a source of income. So what is, they're saying it's like a form of censorship in a way. Some sites like Vimeo are now seeing a rise in their users, but Vimeo, you have to pay, and you only get so many gigs of content. Now, here's something I found that really intrigues me. It's something called Brave. It's a browser, and you can find it brave.com, like, are you brave? brave.com. It says Brave enables YouTube creators to monetize their content. Compensation no longer needs to be based on value or vague rules and mercurial algorithms. That's a dig at YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Viewers can reward you directly. And they have a built-in payment system. It works with tokens that your audience members purchase, and they contribute by they purchase the tokens, they set an amount that they want to give you each month, call it pinning, or they can also set a monthly budget, and based on how much time they spend viewing your content, you get a share of their monthly budget. So that is a way to try to get around the Adpocalypse. But I found that digging around on my own, it wasn't something that's just out there and known, right?
Right.
So I thought that was one of the more interesting things that happened in media. Maybe only you and I care about it. Maybe our listeners don't. We weren't affected by it, but...
Well, see, the thing is that, in our process, since I've had the YouTube channel, we hit the 10,000 mark.
Yeah.
And we've gone way beyond that. Now, I submitted to monetize our channel so that, we could get some revenue stream going in. And we've been in this review process for at least a year, maybe 2 years.
That's probably how it's going to be.
And, I just don't think it's right that we're creating all this wonderful content for YouTube. Not to say that we're going to start tearing it all down, but, it would be nice that, if you have a company that's offering a revenue stream for people creating original content for YouTube, then they should be paid. If and a lot of our stuff, I'd say we're family friendly. I don't think we go over the edge to get into those bad.
Oh my gosh,
languages.
we're way more friendly than
some of the channels that we've seen on YouTube, and but that's my 2 cents. And just for Kay, I'll just toss this one in. So,
well, another thing that happened that I can't find the prediction on. But 2017 was record-breaking for bought Bitcoin altcoins, and drastically increased in mainstream acceptance. So,
yeah, especially as we got towards the end of 2017,
it got volatile.
It did, which leads us quickly to a prediction for this coming year. I think there's been the trend for Bitcoin is up.
Well, now let's quantify that. Bitcoin's a brand. We're talking about cryptocurrency.
Well, cryptocurrency in general, but
because Bitcoin is actually the lowest one.
Okay, but I'm in from what I've watched this past year, I'm referring to Bitcoin as this cryptocurrency that I'm speaking of, and over time it has steadily, like if you're looking at a mountain going up, that is what has been Bitcoin. Now, the thing about Bitcoin is, I think it's going to be time for an adjustment. And I think at some point that bubble's going to pop. But the thing is that once it pops and the value drops, that is going to be definitely a time to buy into it, because the trend overall for Bitcoin is steadily going up. So even though you'll get drops, but that will be the time to buy when this bubble pops. And I'm predicting sometime this coming year that it will fall back down. And when it does, that'll be the time that since you've been missing out on Bitcoin, to buy then and go in and get it.
Well, cryptocurrency kind of seemed to go quiet for a while, 2017, until the last 2 months. Things got wild. There was a huge dip and then a rise. And of course, big things like that catch the attention of mainstream media. Mm-hmm. So they reported a growing demand for cryptocurrency. In fact, the mania for it struck some countries like South Korea so hard, they're having to create a task force to draft regulations for cryptocurrency in South Korea. There's more than one cryptocurrency. You just hear about Bitcoin for some reason more than the others. There's some brand names of cryptocurrency that are worth more right now. Ethereum is one and Ripple is another.
But the thing is, Bitcoin has been out there for some time. And once again, if you had bought into Bitcoin back in, let's say, 2007 for a couple $100, right now that couple $100 would be well north of at least half a million. So, that crypto, getting back to that particular cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, it's shown a track record over time increasing. But there has been some drops in the currency, but those have been temporary, just as a readjustment period, if you will. And I'm just telling our audience that I don't see Bitcoin going anywhere anytime soon.
1 million. Some guy says his Bitcoins increased to over 1 million in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying they don't recommend you invest in Bitcoin today.
No, because there's going to be a bubble that's going to pop. That's what I keep saying is there's going to be an adjustment period. When it drops and it hits low, that's when you buy.
Right.
Because it's going to snap back, but I think there's going to be an adjustment.
Also, it's volatile.
Mm-hmm. It is volatile.
Places like China are banning it, according because that's what China does. There's a cleric in Egypt that says, cryptocurrency is unlawful. But some altcoins saw their highest increases in 2017, with Ripple leading the way. And Bitcoin was at the very, very bottom, Bitcoin being a brand name of cryptocurrency. So there's that. Something else that happened. 3D visualization, augmented reality for surgery really took off.
Oh, yeah.
So, surgeons that rely on microscopes and other camera systems to operate, well, normally they would depend on their own eyes and that equipment. Heads down, peripheral vision limited, back and muscle strain. So over the past 2017 year, two of the most intricate surgical fields, which is neurosurgery and retinal microsurgery, began experimenting with heads-up displays, which would immerse them into high-resolution 3D visual representations of their subject, which is the patient. They had stereoscopic systems that used the data to generate visual templates for surgeon to execute certain tasks. So I imagine if your surgeon can see better and he's physically more comfortable and he has very accurate information, he's able to operate efficiently, effectively. He won't tire out working on your eyeball. So several hospitals have adopted virtual reality tools in 2017. What else happened in 2017? Star Wars. I got nothing to say about it.
Due to the illnesses that have occupied this building, we have not been able to go see it. And when I say we, it is probably going to be me, since Surlana does not like to go to movies. She likes to be sequestered in a room with her Kindle.
I don't want to sit next to another human being in the theater anymore.
We don't usually sit next to human beings when we go to the movies.
Yeah, but we've only been going to riff tracks.
That's kind of probably a riff on people in general. But
although Thor We saw Thor
Yes.
on the last day before it left theaters, before Christmas Day. And that was a good deal.
So you
But
enjoyed it,
didn't
right?
sit next to anybody. Well, you and I had issues where we both had to leave the theater at separate times.
Oh.
And I missed all the big fight
Oh, yeah,
scenes.
you missed this fight scene.
I missed
when
the good stuff.
When it had the immigrant
So you're
song.
gonna have to buy it.
Oh, you know I will.
So I can watch it.
The thing is that I will probably buy that movie. It was I pretty much buy all the Marvel movies that once they come out. The thing is that I still want to go see Star Wars as it's meant to see it in the theater, and hopefully soon I'll be able to go see it. Was shifting from Star Wars. Some other things that happened was there was that poor guy that.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm eating tiny cookies and they fell everywhere.
I was going to kind of redirect to Korea. In North Korea, there was the gentleman, Mr. Walmbers. He was over in North Korea, and he tried to steal a propaganda poster. And
That's not going to go over
and
well.
so they took him into custody, and eventually, it was a big issue at the time.
I didn't hear about that.
Oh my God! I'm not surprised because usually when it comes to
What did they do to him?
actual news, you're just not tuned into actual news. But anyway, they tortured and mistreated him. They ended up sending him back, but he was in a comatose state, but he eventually died. And so,
Oh, my goodness.
first off, if you go to any country in general, you need to respect the country that you're going to. That's kind of like those basketball players, NBA, not NBA, but college basketball players that went to China and tried to steal some things in China. And if it wasn't for, I guess, the president
They're asking for it.
intervening, they probably would have gone to prison or something to that effect. But he got him released. Now, another major thing that happened last year that we didn't get a chance to cover, and that's the Las Vegas shootings. A big deal from last year, and still still a big deal because there's still a lot of controversy and conspiracies still revolving around this incident that happened in Las Vegas. And the thing is that many times we refer to a Star Trek episode about the xenophobic planet that doesn't want to be known that they're there. And so they ended up wiping the minds of Enterprise. And of course, the thing about humans is if you leave, something out there, it's going to lead us to question why. And that's very similar to this situation in the sense there are things that we're asking, well, that doesn't seem right, or why is it just him? Or, we heard reports of this or reports of that. So, that is still something that I think we can say happened in 17, but will continue this year to be questioned and relevant in 2018. Let's see, what else do we got here that I'm thinking here? The plague was found in New Mexico. And apparently, yes, this is not the first time.
Yeah, it'll crop up every now and then.
Basically, it was found in, New Mexico, according to the New Mexico Department of Health, and 3 people were hospitalized and released later. See, I'm starting to get that raspy voice now.
It's getting rough.
At least it's dry and I'm not like choking to death. So
we're about to hit the home stretch too.
Yeah, so I'm kind of aiming here. We're almost to the top of the hour. Let's see here. What else do we got here? Let's see. Were you waving at me or something?
Yeah, just fine.
Oh, you hi? Hey, how you doing over there? How are you doing?
I'm gonna come and smack you.
We talked about the eclipse, which was a BFD. This
don't. I am gonna hurt you pretty bad.
And so that was pretty amazing. We also learned that John McCain has brain cancer, and yet he's still in the Senate. Go figure.
Doesn't affect your ability to be a senator.
Still, I would feel more comfortable knowing that if somebody in that up there making laws and passing stuff has a brain cancer or something like that, I think it's time to go ahead and retire.
He would advocate for research and cancer research and
let
things
him
like that.
Let him go on the circuit and start going on the news and talking about that. I just don't like the idea that the man is still making laws and passing things that it could be he might be making a decision that shouldn't be making a decision. Of course, ultimately we talked about Harvey hitting Houston and dumping more than 50 inches of rain, drove thousands from their homes.
Messed us up for 2 months.
Yes,
Nearly 3 months.
We talked about, in our last episode, and of course throughout the year, last year, that there were a lot of stars that came out of this tragic incident, like Houston Texans star J.J. Watt raising more than $37 million online donations, and that's incredible.
And future Saint Jim
McInvale,
Mattress Mac of Houston there was a big sign up sheet online of try to get a Mattress Mac Day for Houston. He has done more for this community single-handedly.
And still does. I mean,
and he's still doing it. Yeah. He's still going. He's still giving away furniture, coordinating things. He sent stuff to other people in the California fires. Mm-hmm. It's not just Houston he helps either.
Right. He's been a saint for the community for many, many years. And
he's getting up there, too.
And he's getting up there, but the thing is that I guess he's going to hit the finish line running full force, and you got to give it up for him. So yeah, lots
his
of
videos make you cry.
Lots of rain that hit Houston, and a lot of good came out of Houston. And even though the media wanted to come in here,
tried so hard to make it race related,
and people fighting against each other.
Nobody did
also,
that.
something that also, before we hit the top of the hour break, is there was the outcry over the nurse's arrest for refusing to draw unconscious patient's blood. Apparently, a police officer went in and tried to, he arrested her.
What authority does he have for that?
Well, it was a big mess. Ultimately, the police officer was fired after he arrested the nurse. And so,
what happened to her?
Well, she refused to let him draw blood from an unconscious patient without a warrant.
Right.
And he was going to take the blood no matter what.
So she got arrested in what?
She got arrested because she wouldn't draw blood.
But she got arrested. She's still in jail, is what I'm trying to ask you.
They got her out, and, she did receive a $500,000 settlement from the city.
I would think.
And the university that runs the hospital.
Did she get fired?
No. Why would she get fired?
Well,
it wasn't her fault.
I know people are crazy.
No, they
Controversy.
They didn't fire her. I mean, there was so much social media on that, like they couldn't believe that Horses Batoon would do something to that lady, and it all came down to him wanting to do something without a warrant. So
yeah.
Don't
also, you have to have a warrant for everything?
Pretty much. And so we've hit the top of the hour, and I could have gone a little bit more, but
you can if you want to.
Yeah, but we could talk a few more nuggets when we come back. And hey, you're listening to the lovely Surlana and the funny Spaceboy on SBU, where we try to be here weekly if we can. On that magical note, we'll be right back after this.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
Oh, that song just seems
I
too
love
short.
that song so much.
Wrote that song for Jill Hansen for the Q Science Project that airs on KGRA digital broadcasting. A great lady, and she has a wonderful program on that network, and it's always a pleasure to do a little shout out to her.
I need to listen to other broadcasts because I'm so
Isolated like a fish.
wrapped up in our own.
You know, I just wanted to point out, continuing our 2017 thing review, some of people that passed away. People that we've known as children all the way to adults. Jim Neighbors passed away.
He was still alive.
Yeah, he passed away. Well known for his stint on the Andy Griffin Show. Best known for his role as Gomer Pyle. He died in November.
What a thing to be known for.
Yeah, so it was kind of tragic to see him go.
Honestly, didn't know he's still alive.
David Cassidy also passed away.
No, you're kidding.
70s teen heartthrob.
He wasn't
and lead
old.
singer. He died in November 21st. He was 67. He was 67.
Man.
Now, Della Reese, you remember her?
Yeah, I know her.
Famed jazz singer, later found TV fame.
Yes.
On the show Touched by an Angel. She died on November 19th. She was 86.
Oh, bless her.
Tragic. Country music legend Mel Tillis died on November 19th as well.
But he was
85.
Yeah, he was up there.
Yeah.
Same ages.
Kind of sad to see him go.
Close
and
to my dad's age.
But up there. Former NASA astronaut Dick Gordon passed away. He was the commander of
Gordon,
the module pilot on the second moon landing. He died on November 6th. He was 88. He spent more than 316 hours in space over 2 missions. Kind of sad. Hey, who could forget?
Salute him.
Who forget Antoine Fats Domino, a titan of early rock and roll with piano bass.
Me?
Yeah, he died
He must have been up there.
89. He died on October 24th.
Wow.
Just kind of thinking of some other people that we have here. Rock legend Tom Petty passed away.
Yes, that was tragic.
On October 2nd.
Unexpected.
Very unexpected. I think I recall they were saying that he's dead, and then his daughter came out, well, that's not what I've heard. It's not the whole thing, but apparently he suffered from a cardiac arrest in his home, and he was 66. So
not old at all.
No, he's still very young. You remember Monty Hall?
Yes.
Best known for his cheerful and friendly host of the game show Let's Make a Deal. He died September 30th. He was 96. Hard to believe that, yeah. Another rock legend, Hugh Hefner, died. And I know you're rolling your eyes over there. He died of 90. He died in September 27th. He was 91.
Ooh,
famously known for the Playboy magazine. If there's a legendary singer that I think of the 70s, it's Charles Bradley. He is known for his song "Screaming Eagle of Soul." Think of 70s, and you got the band, like Isaac Hayes. Has the band, and he's got the front singer. But this guy, he had a really great voice, and I guess at some point, since you're not familiar with him,
I'm not familiar.
I'd have to share some music with him, and and hey, every time you look at this guy, you would probably think he's still alive, but now he's passed on. Harry Dean Stanton. He finally passed away at the age of 91. Yeah, this past year.
He died previously.
That's what I'm saying. But no, he was one of those ones that ran it to the finish line. He kept it going. So he tragically passed away. Do you remember Jay Thomas, comic character who has been on Cheers? Murphy
he was on
Brown?
Mork and Mindy.
Yeah, he passed away of cancer.
Oh, good Lord.
He was 69.
No,
he passed away on August 24th, I believe. Of course, speaking of comics, Jerry Lewis passed away. He was 91.
I recall that.
August 20th, he was going through a brief illness, and of course, unfortunately, he kind of passed away.
I guess you could call him a humanitarian more than an
Now,
entertainer.
I know you're not much into country, but do you remember Glenn Campbell?
Oh yes, of course. Southern
yeah,
Skies.
the upbeat guitarist from Delight, Arkansas. Well, he passed away this past year, August 8th, after
Probably the only palatable song.
a lengthy battle, and I know I'm going to get this wrong.
What is it?
Alzheimer's. Thank you. So yeah, he passed away, unfortunately, and but yeah, that song, I love that song.
Jerry Lewis, just a personal thing. He was a better humanitarian than an entertainer. That's my personal opinion because I found him as an entertainer to be extremely annoying.
June Foray, do you know her?
Yes.
How do you know her?
Just say it.
Because she was Rocky from Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Yes.
And she passed away.
She was up there too, though.
99.
Yeah.
July 26th is when she passed away. Let's see if there's anybody else on my list. Martin Landau. You know him, right?
Yeah. He's an old schooler.
1960s old schooler TV shows.
Hollywood.
Mission Impossible. He won the Oscar for Bela Lugosi in the movie Ed Wood, one of my favorites. He died July 15th from unexpected complications during a short hospitalization. So unfortunate, Stephen Furst, another great 70s comedian, best known from the 1978 movie Animal House. He played Fish.
I never saw it.
You've never seen Animal House?
Nope.
Oh my goodness!
I have no objections to seeing. I just never saw it.
Okay, another classic actor that passed away was Adam West.
Yes,
we all know him from Batman, but we know also that he's been featured as the mayor from Quahog. And yes, it's getting warm in here. It's been warm.
No, I'm not. Is there a lot more on that list?
Oh, are you trying to kick me off the bucket?
No,
now?
I'm just wondering.
What you got over there? Well, we
haven't gotten to predictions yet.
There's a lot of people like Greg Altman passed away. I mean, for Pete's sake, Jim Burning passed away. I mean, the list was pretty extensive. Who could forget James Bond himself, Roger Moore?
Yeah, no, I remember that.
I mean,
yeah.
so. Chris Cornell passed away.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
Powers Booth passed away, another great actor.
That's an old school Hollywood.
So, I guess I'll leave it there. I mean, I wanted to bring up Aaron Moran. Joni
from Happy Days.
And then I can't forget Charles Murphy.
Charlie Murphy?
Yeah, Charlie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy's brother.
Yes, best known for his skits on with the Chappelle Show, and definitely. So I mean, and I'll end it on this one because this is probably one of my favorite comedians that passed away, and that's the legendary comedian and actor Don Rickles.
Yes, we've all been kind of waiting to see how long that would go on. Bless his heart. He lived to be what? 90 something?
He was it was 80s. Up there. Let me check my records here real quick. He was 90.
Seems like he's been 90 for 20 years.
That's kind of like another person, Mel Brooks. It seems like he's been there for a long time too.
Mel's still kicking now.
Yeah, he's like that. Many of those people that are running to the finish line, and he's going to finish strong. I think this past year I watched a documentary with him in it, and it was really good. I'll have to dig that up and find out and post it on Facebook sometime. Robert Osborne passed away. You remember him?
No.
He's done the AMC Turner Classics. I know some of you out there do know what I'm talking about. Surlana is usually sequestered behind a book, so she doesn't get to see much movies.
Like reading is terrible.
Also George Wapner passed away.
Oh, really?
Do you know who that is?
Yes.
Dun.
People's Court.
Yes, the People's Court. He finally, and I know I keep going, but
I know. Is there a lot more?
Bill Paxton.
Yeah, that was tragic.
I mean, that was sad to see him go. And then of course Richard Hatch passed away. He played
Battlestar,
known as the Captain Apollo on Battlestar Galactica. And so it was John Hurt, another alien actor,
another old school. Yeah.
So Mary Tyler Moore.
Oh yeah.
You know, so you know, I guess I'll stop there because I think.
I mean, I don't want this to be a death show.
Well, I'm at my end. Well, you know, 2017. Those are the people that left us.
So let's hurtle ourselves into 2018 predictions. Now, as with last year when we started for 2017, it's surprising how much, or rather, let me say, how little I could find for predictions. I had to get specific to like Bitcoin, AI, YouTube. I stay away from psychic predictions. That's just me. I stay away from Nostradamus. That's just me. And there's tons of that. So I was trying to find logical, real world, plausible things that we could, you know, that you could actually...
You know, predictions is not a very logical thing.
But so I couldn't find a ton. So let's talk about, it's sort of the future of YouTube, since we just talked about YouTube now. Something just happened there in the last few days. And this is the content creator YouTube channel, Logan Paul, posting a video that featured we're assuming a real dead body in the suicide forest of Japan, which is at the foot of the what's the name of the mountain?
Mount Fuji.
Mount Fuji. My brain went. Blah, blah, blah. So that. Now, what shocked me about that is PewDiePie's video about it, which I made you watch, and I'm thinking, is Pewdie bitter? Is he just generally making fun of it? Is he saying, oh, well, YouTube is having double standards? Of course, Logan Paul said, well, I'm not going to monetize this video because it's not that kind of thing you want to make money on, but he did it in a very disrespectful way. First of all, the guy looks like an idiot, just standing there as a human. He looks like an idiot. Haircut, you know. But he looked like an idiot. He was wearing some ridiculous hat. I don't know what they were carrying through the woods there, but they apparently went into a restricted area of this forest and saw someone hanging. And he showed close-ups of, not the face, but of like hands or arms or whatever. And what fascinated me about is like, oh, there's the line Pewdie says he won't cross, is showing a dead body. He goes, maybe you should edit that out. Well, maybe Pewdie should have edited out his stuff too. So I was looking at this from like, boy, you got a lot of room to talk, you know? Both of them are idiots. But both of them have tons and tons and tons of subscribers and viewers. So people want to see scandal. They want to see the car accident. They want to see that. So what is the future of YouTube for 2018? Well, YouTube promises to increase content moderation and other by increasing their staff to 10,000 people in 2018. So they're going to take steps to protect their advertisers and creators from inappropriate content. So maybe if they hire 10,000 more people, we could get our channel reviewed faster. They're going to, because this fall, you know, the scandals that happen, they're saying the content that's aimed at children, obscene comments on videos of children. Did you know that there was this channel? I don't know the name of it. I don't know if it's still there. But basically, it was a family's home videos where he would basically verbally abuse the young children and make fun of them on camera and make them cry. And it was funny to them. These are the parents doing that. And I watched a few of them and I was just like, I just couldn't believe it. So this stuff is out there. And I don't know if it needs to be censored. I don't know what the answer is. But there's things out there that will horrify you. Maybe that doesn't bother you personally, but YouTube is suffering from this fallout that for too long they've allowed these bad actors, like I guess you can maybe say Logan Paul, to game its recommendation algorithms to reach children in videos that aren't meant for younger viewers. So they've fostered this community. The criticism is they fostered this community of creators to make videos that involve putting kids in exploitive situations, like that family who basically abused their kids on camera. Here's an example they give. Toy Freaks is a channel that was recently terminated because the concerns were raised about its videos where a father's young daughters were filmed in odd, upsetting, and inappropriate situations at times. So they're tightening their child endangerment policies. Well, that's all well and good, but if you're showing a dead body, that's not just bad for kids. I don't know. Oh, I don't need to have a coughing fit right now. So they're going to increase their workforce to watch over these videos. And it's a 25% staff increase. So I don't know if the answer is to police the videos harder when you can still get by. The Logan Paul's was trending on YouTube before I guess anybody noticed. So I don't know what the future is for people trying to make revenue off of there with all this heavy policy and policing. So that's going to be something to watch, and it will be interesting to watch. Again, we're back to artificial intelligence. Well, the predictions are it's only going to get more intense. They're going to throw more money at it. There are going to be more projects, self-driving cars, self-steering ships, more medical equipment that's run by AI, but there's going to be big, costly failures because everybody's going to run and try to grow and pioneer, and they're going to fail. As I mentioned previously, voice activation and communication is going to be the dominant method in AI, like computer, T, gray, Earl Hot, Star Trek. Alexa, Echo, and other robots are going to get all up in our business, and they're going to be in our health and well-being too. Another prediction for 2018 is empathetic, intelligent computing. So, sorry. This is going beyond to a computer asking it a simple question and getting a single response. This is going to be AI is going to start getting more human-like with its responses to our queries and requests. Maybe more like the computer on Star Trek. I don't know. Multi-part conversations, more comprehensive answers. Where it says there are 453 entries for that. You want to refine your, should just start listing all the entries, right? So it will get appropriate and insightful suggestions based on what we're doing or what we're trying to do. It'll start giving our devices a sense that they're getting smart. But then I read that this is all hype. It's going to be a bubble that will burst because so much money will get thrown at it because there'll be all these buzzworthy projects that will get pitched and they're going to fail. So there's that. Cryptocurrency, it hit a record high of $673 billion. And there's no sign that 2017's rally is going to end. It is going to be volatile. Now listen to this. Digital currency enthusiast and journalist Max Kaiser believes that digital currency market cap will reach $5 trillion or more, with Bitcoin hitting 100,000. So Kaiser says Bitcoin's path to six figures is based on its status as digital gold. Now, he argues that there's better currencies that are going to be better for payments. Now, one is called Dash. Dash is going to be a crypto payment that will rally while Bitcoin asserts itself as digital gold. So people might rush to embrace these other brand names, and they might just leave Bitcoin for investment. But actual payments will happen with other currencies. Now, another thing I heard is in technology, one of the problems of 2018 is going to be trust. We're going to see companies doubling down on trust, our trust. because fake news, foreign ads, and social media, we saw how they impacted our election. We saw the data breach with Equifax. We saw some of the big technologies like self-driving cars and blockchain poised to go mainstream. They're going to do everything in their power to put trust in these projects. And like I say, if we don't trust their technology, we're not going to use it. So I'll be interested how they're going to do that.
Hey, Solana, I just want to ask, are you doing all right over there?
I'm coming to the end.
Do you think I'm being mean or to make you talk?
No. In fact, if you want to call in right now, that'd be awesome. 713-701-5214, and you can mute me.
I just want to point out that I was doing my thing over there and gave you a break, and you're back on it. I'm not being mean to her, Gene.
No, he's not. I'm the one that has the notes, not him.
Well, I have notes of my own over here, so.
Hey, you got predictions?
No, I mean, you
go for it.
Well, I was going to point out that we got a few more minutes here. My main thing is Korea. It's a hotbed over there. I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. I think that we should expect some kind of major event coming out of Korea. There's been talk about the Chinese president preparing the army over there for war.
That is a prediction. Is World War III for 2018. That was from Nostradamus.
I didn't want to just come out and say World War III, but I believe that there's going to be some kind of conflict that might spur up.
Well, like you're saying, it'll be our leaders and politicians that do it.
Which I think is interesting because you have the Olympics coming up in South Korea. And,
Seoul.
the North Koreans, Seoul, have said, oh, yeah, we bless this. So we're not going to do anything.
North Korea, you mean?
Yeah, North Korea. And so that was very nice of them to give their blessing to the thing. Now,
North Korea.
I believe that the Russians are not allowed to go to North Korea. I mean, not to go to South Korea Olympics because of the doping scandal that hit them.
I thought I heard that we were going to boycott.
And then I've heard the same thing, that we were going to boycott not going to the Olympics too as well. So it's going to be a crazy Olympics to say the least. But my prediction is, and there's some other people that are predicting that there's going to be some kind of major conflict coming out of Korea.
Well, they say people worldwide are feeling increasingly tense. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how they know this, but they're saying there's a rise in overall negativity of all people. I don't know how that's measured.
So anyway, we're at the bottom of the hour, so let's take the break, Solana. I'm sure I'll throw another curveball or two out there.
All right.
Trying to alleviate you from not talking, but
I don't have that much more.
As long as I just don't talk about dead people, we're okay, correct?
Well, if you've got like 87 more of them.
No, I think I finished up. I might have skipped a few astronauts, but that's not very important to me, is it? But anyway, on that magical note, you're listening to
Stay
Spaceboy.
tuned as I slap the crap out of Spaceboy.
We're coming up to marital counseling, so the session will be beginning the last 30 minutes of the hour. So don't go anywhere. So there you go. Hi, I'm Spaceboy.
And I'm Surlana.
And you're listening to Spaceboy Universe
on the Paranormal UK Radio Network.
Hey, you're listening to SBU, and this is Spaceboy, and across from me is the lovely Surlana. But as always, our weekly call-in guest is Bev. How are you, Bev?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I am doing smashingly good, and it is great to hear from you. And I'm sure you missed us last week, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
I know you were very concerned because I posted a few things on Facebook. I was going to say Spacebook. And
This is the improved version of us.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what's sad.
Oh, I'm telling you, Bev, it was, I hate
It
to
was
admit this.
bad.
I had a towel, for that you use to like dry off when you get out of the shower or the bath.
Yeah.
Next to the bed, and I was using that as my Kleenex because it was that bad. I was leaking.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's I hate to admit it, but I mean, I was going through Kleenexes and they just couldn't handle.
Same here. I'm like, just give me a toilet paper roll because I could just endless, So that's what I'm using TP right now.
Wow.
So
Well,
I just asked you, how is it up north? Lots of snow. What's going on? Give us the weather report up there.
We got about 4 to 6 inches of snow.
Now, I know that probably Ty is laughing at you because I'm sure he's got his house buried in snow right now, and that's normal.
Why it's called the
my.
Great White North.
Yeah. For a reason.
Yes.
Yeah, he's up in Canada, isn't he?
Oh, yes. Oh, Canada. Yes.
We saw snow last month, but it was like a frosting. It was pretty. And then it was gone in probably an hour or two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wish we could be like that.
It's very pretty.
Oh, God. Hey, I got my other eye done.
Yay!
You're still
I
married?
got it done
I was
to
going to...
26.
You stole my joke.
What's that?
She said, you're still married?
Yeah. I'm too old to try and train anybody else.
So it's not a pity thing then, I guess.
Nah.
Yeah.
He cooks better than I do, so I have to keep him around.
I hear that. So you got Surlana choking up
God,
over
I
there.
know. I was so concerned about you guys because, man, I was afraid of you. When it starts out like that, it usually goes down into your lungs.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see how bad it gets, just because I'm weird like that.
Oh, my goodness, Surlana. Yeah, for me, it was like, the last week, it was last weekend, I was leaking like a sieve. It was like a faucet just I couldn't turn off. Now, I'm congested a little bit, but this week it's more... it's still got the... I just really hate to get...
You're coughing up slugs, basically.
I mean, it's more...
God.
It's a little bit more thicker than it was. It's still clear. There's no sign of a virus or, discolorization.
Sorry.
But... And so that's where I'm at right now. And I'm having moments where if it goes down the wrong way, it's like I can hear it whizzing in my chest.
We had a nap. I heard the whistling in my chest today.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at. And she's
Dino,
just...
get out of that
window. Dino.
Sorry about that.
Wow, Dino
Our
traveled
Dino's
from...
in the window, living room
Your
window
Dino, not the
barking.
California Dino. Just want to make sure, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Every time
He time traveled.
he time travels. He got teleportation,
Yeah,
And-
there you go, teleported.
Yeah, so, but, we love dinos across the nation, whether it be a human or canine.
Yeah, he's spoiled.
Yeah, I saw a picture of him on Facebook. Good-looking dog.
He is. He's our baby.
See, even Solana's choked up over there about how great a looking dog he is.
Sorry.
She wants to put him between two buns and some mustard and,
No!
Okay, hold on just a second here. Surlana has to be pited there. So, trust me, she's not dead. She refuses to die before me, so that's always a plus. So, but how is Bob? I mean, is he all right?
He's not doing too bad.
Oh.
He's just not. This weather's got us both all stoked, and
I can imagine
he's not
so.
feeling too good.
Yeah, I know that when it gets too cold, I've got metal in my back. I had my L4 and L5 fused together, So when the temperature gets to a certain point, I really kind of stiff up, and I can feel that metal in my back.
Oh yeah. Well, it's been so cold that our furnace is set at 72.
Oh wow.
And it's been hard for it to keep up. That's how cold it is.
I can imagine. So you were saying something like 14, 15 degrees below, right?
Yep. And I sit around with I have to keep my ankles covered because of my arthritis in them. So I wear anklet socks, and plus, those slipper socks you get at the hospital?
Oh, yeah.
I have a few pair of those, and I slip them over my slipper socks to keep my feet warm.
Yeah, I've definitely been there a few times. Normally, I don't sleep with socks when I go to bed, but
that's when I am.
When it got cold, he was like, okay, I got to keep these on. My feet are just killing me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
And when your feet get cold, the rest of your body's cold.
Oh yeah. There's no comfort for you when your feet are cold. And
oh no.
And I'm the one that usually puts off the butane for keeping Surlana warm, and when I get to that frozen part, she won't even come near me, So it's hard enough I have to climb Mount Everest to get even get a hug out of her, So.
Oh my goodness! Now here we go. Okay, now it's Surlana's turn to come back.
Well, the thing is, I'm taking advantage of the situation. I'm alone in the studio. She stepped away because she was having a coughing fit, and so hopefully she'll be back here and eventually. So, I won't tell Bob if you won't tell Surlana that we're on the phone together with a few listeners.
Yeah, it'll be our secret.
It'll be our secret. Wink, wink. So I imagine the eye surgery. You're excited that it's all done and in the past, and you're making a speedy recovery. I mean, how do you feel?
Oh, my eyes feel great. I can see through them now without it looking like a permanent fog.
Right.
I got to go to my regular eye doctor. I'm nearsighted, so I still have to have glasses.
Oh, well, that's the bummer part, I guess. I wish that I could do the LASIK surgery myself, but I feel like I would lose an iconic look that I have with the glasses. I'm just so used to, I feel like if I took off my glasses, it's that typical cartoon scenario when you see the guy take off his glasses. He's got like 2 pinpoints for eyeballs, and I feel like my eyes are just too tiny. So that's why I would feel, bummed out having no glasses to wear. Surlana is back.
Now, I do have to go back in 6 months to the optometrist specialist, and they got the cataracts all in, but they're still a little fuzzy back there behind them.
Yeah.
So in 6 months, he wants to go in laserly and get all that out of there. So there's no chance of them ever coming back.
Well, that's great. I mean, the fact that you're able to see again, I mean, I can't imagine not having a sense, one of my senses going out. To be honest with you, it's my hearing, and that's from all the music and electronic music and rock music that I've played over the years, and so I don't have great hearing as I once did. But
join the club.
Yeah. So I guess if I look at all my senses, that's probably the one that's on my list of going out. But thank God my taste buds haven't. I still can taste
that
things.
would be awful.
I'm sorry I missed all that, Beth. I had to go.
His one aunt,
step out.
He's got an aunt that has no sense of smell.
Wow.
I couldn't imagine that, not being able to smell flowers, food, or wow.
Or how stinky your significant other smells. I mean, I think that's a kind of a win-win for some couples. The wife doesn't have any sense of smell, and then I was about to say, and he has no sense of taste.
or sight.
Our site. Well, I didn't want to go there and be mean, but Surlana's back.
Well,
You want to say something, Surlana?
Oh, I'm sorry I missed all that, Bev. I had to step out and
That's okay, my dear.
I had to
heard
go
you,
basically
honey.
choke to death in another room.
Are you still okay? You still
Yeah,
need to drink
it's
some more?
not going down.
Well, okay. All right.
I may not make it.
Well, just let us know if you need to step away again.
It's
Yeah.
my nose. It's all in my nose right now.
Well, you know what you need to do is at least get a little bit of honey.
Don't
and
have
put
any.
some honey in your tea. I know you don't have any, because that's a. But just go get. They smell them. They smell them. they
you got her all giggled up.
they sell them in small bottles, small jars. That's the best thing for you. Or if you have lemon juice.
Well, the thing is with honey is that, when it gets kind of hard, you could still get it loosened up. Honey's still good.
Yeah.
It's
just
not
put
one of
it
those
in the
things.
microwave.
It's not one of those things that expires.
I've got
Yeah,
cough
all you
syrup,
have to do
though.
is just put it in the microwave for maybe about 20, 30 seconds.
So you're saying the
Depending
extra
on
strength
how-
cough syrup isn't going to do anything?
Well, I mean, the honey is more immediate, and it's a natural remedy versus the cough
Yeah.
medicine. So our members of our audience that go for a more natural solution would probably point toward honey.
I like drugs.
Well, well,
A
Dino,
hot
there you
whiskey
go,
flame.
Dino, I'm not talking about the dog, but Dino, you heard that right. I hope you did. So,
What's that?
she said she likes drugs. And that's why we can't get monetization on YouTube.
Well, now, see, a hot whiskey sling is good, too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that sounds good.
Candy is dandy, but liquor is quicker. And who quoted that? Gene Wilder.
Yep, Gene Wilder. My grandma, she was a very religious lady. Her and Grandpa were very religious, but she kept a bottle of whiskey in the house for medicinal purposes, and that's the only time they ever used it.
Wow.
They didn't go to the doctor much until my grandpa got cancer. Then they were going a lot. So, but yeah, those home remedies, man.
Speaking of
There
home
were a lot of people that
do you have any
swore
other?
by them.
Do you have any other home remedies that?
When you have a chest cold, take an onion poultice.
Poultice, yeah.
Okay, you take onion, boil the onions and make a poultice out of them, and put them in like cheesecloth and put them across your chest.
Wow.
It's like, you heard of mustard plasters?
Yeah, I heard. I think one of our space cadets was talking
old
about
school stuff.
spreading mustard on the chest until it burns.
Feels like I'm
and-
being strangled.
Now, my mom, when I was a kid, would put Vicks on my chest.
You almost
Yep,
bought
yep.
some of that.
I came close. I really did.
I was going to offer to rub it on you
Yeah, well,
because I think that'd have been hilarious.
the thing is that even though it seemed to like it brings back a good childhood memory, the thing is that as the fact that I'm not a child anymore and I have a very hairy chest, it's not something I want to get all
we
sticky
could
all
shave
over.
it because you've got the thing.
Look,
There you go.
I don't want to be
Shave your
shave my chest.
Nobody's going to see
I
your
am.
chest.
I'm not Adonis. I mean, I don't have. I'm not buffed.
Let's
you know.
shave patterns in your chest. It'll be fun.
Or,
Oh, and then spread the Vicks right around the pattern.
My worry is that she says she's going to spread Vicks on my chest, and it'll be Nair. And what's that burning? What's that smell? It's working. Just don't worry
I
about it.
actually have that. I actually have that right now. You just pump it
Oh
out.
God!
and
Now
rub it.
what? You're giving her ideas.
I think that
It doesn't hurt.
in full
You just actually
disclosure,
shower it off.
I really think that maybe she's putting that on the back of my head, and that's why I'm going bald. That's why I can't grow hair anymore. She's been her clandestine.
Somebody's calling, Bev.
Oh.
Oh,
Well, Bev, can we take that call?
why sure.
And I guess we might disconnect from you. So if we do, we love you.
Well, I love you guys too, and I want you guys to get a lot better.
Oh,
We'll
we'll try. Thanks, Bev.
Thanks, Bev.
Give a hug to Bob.
I sure will. Love you guys much.
Bye-bye.
Other caller, are you there?
Yes.
Hey, it's Dino.
Oh,
Yes. Hello. I feel for you guys. A lot of people around here have that, and it's definitely a kudos to you guys for coming to work anyway tonight. This wouldn't be allowed, this type of hacking and coughing on a major network.
well, no, but we canceled last week,
I,
so we're
I
kind of
believe
screwed.
that everyone gives us some leeway, since we're not professionals and we're just here to entertain everybody, So,
Well, you own the network.
yeah, we're the bosses. So, it is what it is. I mean, there was that one time when we were both sick, Surlana, remember, like the first season? And we were delirious and
It was
goofy.
actually hysterical.
It was a pretty funny show that time. And
We were giggling.
yeah, I think we both had the flu that time. But, yeah, it's just really bizarre this time, Dino. Flu-like
November.
symptoms, but, not the influenza. Hey, I said it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate it. I'll
yeah.
be here all week.
That is interesting because I have been listening. I know one woman friend that's a beautiful woman that's been healthy most of her life, and she's one of the people that let me watch many videos on all these vaccines. And because of my job, I used to, for several years, take the vaccine every year because I'm around people a lot.
Yeah.
But the last 2 years, I have not. Now, it seemed to help me. I didn't have too many bad reactions, once or twice, a little bit of soreness in the arm, but it really wasn't a problem. But people have me reading and thinking about all the aspects of what's in the vaccine, even though even some people say it's not good to be putting the dead virus in you, but
Right.
it stimulates your immune system. So my approach the last 2 winters has been to beef up my immune system, eating good food, not overdoing anything, getting enough rest.
It's a good
And,
idea.
damn it, washing your hands and face and not shaking hands with everybody. I've become like Howard Stern in many phobia. I tell people in the winter, I go, no offense, man, I'll bump them, but I go, it's flu season.
Don't
and then they
touch
go, oh,
anybody.
yeah.
See, I do the fist bump myself,
I don't
too,
touch
just for
anybody.
that simple fact of, if I don't think somebody's clean, and I hate to say that,
Unclean.
unclean, or,
Ring the bell.
Your nose looks a little red. It looks like you might have something, I might do. And then I've actually done an elbow bump. It's like, hey, like you shouldn't touch me. I'm a little under the weather. And, I'll just do the elbow bump kind of thing. That gives them a good chuckle. But, yeah, I'm like you. I try to avoid situations like that. And even more lately, I've been using a little of the, what is that antibacterial gel stuff.
Because I bought you some manly, good
Well,
smelling
it
stuff.
smells good.
And when you use it, I
But
get
you know
closer
about
to you.
that? You know about that gel, though? It really isn't that good. Viruses are getting stronger and stronger. You can do just as good washing your hands with a little soap and water.
Sometimes
really.
you can't get to them safe, though.
But I agree with you, and I think it's the hypochondriac nation that puts himself in that situation. Myself, I only use it sparingly, just like when I take certain medicines, like antibiotics. I only use it sparingly, not to the point to where if indeed I become sick again at a later time,
And I just like to smell good.
that I'm not able to use it again. And I'm agree with you. Good old soap and water has always been that has been the treatment for when I was a kid. Worked perfectly fine when I was a kid. I didn't get sick. Normal things. I mean, I got my ear infections and things.
I got everything as a kid.
But other than that, I never really got the flu.
I got strep throat every year.
But in the flip side, when I did get sick, it was hard and heavy. But then it was over, and then I enjoyed.
Yeah. I think that's the key. Naturally keeping your immune system. And I have a bad habit that some of us have, especially when you sit down and work. You touch your eyes, your nose, your mouth, and that's how you spread it.
Oh yeah.
And keep your hands away during flu season, your eyes and your nose and your mouth, and use soap and water. And then you got to drink liquids. People don't think about it. Some people drink too much. They got the bottles with them all the time, but I don't put them down because the more fluid, and now that you have picked up some kind of virus, drink some herb tea, drink water,
tea.
drink some orange. That helps flush you out, because I'll just say that we'll get off the sickness subject, but I've been off work for a couple of weeks for winter, and many people around me had it, and I had nothing. And then about just after Christmas, I started feeling funny. Well, I was staying up late and messing around and touching my face a lot, and I kind of came down, but it wasn't flu. No fever. I could sleep pretty well, but I had that congestion and that cough and so I don't know what it is. And then, we like to blame the chemtrails, but there was some spraying here around Christmas over my area. So who knows? But anyway, that being said, it was really quite a year. I don't like to go just by turning the page of the calendar, but so many deaths, as you mentioned previously, so many things, and there are things that we should be stopping in a less busy and stirred up year to be discussing in depth, like the disclosure information that came out about the Pentagon expenditures, like marijuana, whether you like it or not, people should not be sent to jail for smoking something that grows out of the ground and is incorrectly tied in and grouped with narcotics. And people, if they learn the history of this, it's only been 50, 60, 70 years that was written in, and then you go into the politics of that. So that's the one thing I wanted to point out tonight, was this Jeff Sessions, this clown, this, what a hypocrite that, he comes in, he's supposedly a strong Republican. I thought the Republicans were for less government in our private lives. And he just made an announcement after marijuana became legal in several more states. Oh, we're pulling that out. We're not going to have the policy to not go after you. So he's going to ruin someone's life if he's not stopped for just smoking Mother Nature, as they call it. And, he's going to ruin tons of revenue that's going to be generated, at least in my state, if he tries to stop it. This is just it's I won't use any word, but it's a stupid way to go. It's a really kind of a cowardly way to go after someone, and it really makes me feel in the state I'm in that he's going after a stereotype of who lives in my state. Oh yeah, they're pot smokers and all. We'll get them. Oh, what's going on now, whether even if you
shouldn't they get Colorado then too?
Yeah, well,
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying all the states. That's what he said. He came out a couple of days ago and said he's removing the policy that the feds will not go after state voted for laws. I thought the Republicans were for state rights, but apparently not if it's something they don't approve of.
So anyway, I'm gonna say this about the legalization of pot is that growing up from parents from the '60s and just different family, I've been around it and friends. To me, it's not like heroin or crack or I really don't have a big deal about it. So I guess my idea about that is that go ahead and legalize it. We have laws like for drinking while intoxicated. If somebody commits a crime, like has an accident and they're on a particular substance, then let's pass some laws for that. But I think, putting away people for smoking pot and that kind of thing, I think it's ridiculous. I think, hey, kudos for California for legalizing it. Hey, kudos for Denver for doing its thing. It's great. But I think the ultimate question is, Dino, will you secede the nation as a whole for California? Would you be behind that?
Well, I can't see seceding the nation, but they've talked for years about Northern and Southern California separating to different states because they have different energies and different politics. But, Massachusetts is about to legalize it. New York, I think, is on the way. You want to talk about what is petty is, here's what happened in California just in the last week. There were commercials appearing on television saying, to remind people that DUI means not just marijuana,
under the
influence, driving under the influence of anything. And do you know what happened in the last 2 days? They were asked to pull those ads because certain groups, I'd like to know who they are, said that they promoted the use of marijuana and drugs. Is that ridiculous? You're trying to keep people out of a car, which I agree with 100%. I've known people that have been killed, maimed by people driving when they're buzzed out of their mind on anything. So I would agree with enforcing that. And here they put out courtesy ads all over the airwaves in California, and then now they've been asked to pull them because some group, I'd like to know the group, are complaining.
Well, Dino, we've reached the end of our show. We do appreciate you calling in. It's always a treat because, it's been a while. And, don't be a stranger. Call us, man.
All right, I will see you. And just tonight I had to eat. I had to buy a new computer, so I'm in debt. So I'll be around on weekends. I can't afford to go out for a while.
Well, that's your loss. Your loss is our benefit, I guess, in a way.
People trapped at home in debt.
All right, Dino.
Drink those fluids, rest, and get rid of that bug by next week, all right?
Awesome,
Take care,
boss.
all you space cadets.
Good night, Dino.
I have tears in my eyes.
Well, there you go.
But
Real
that's 'cause I've been
quick,
choking.
at the bot, housekeeping.
Yes,
Our
please.
next week's guest is Solaris Blue Raven.
Confirmed?
And so we've got her on next Saturday. We got a guest. And so we're
Get my
excited.
A game together.
It's so exciting. We are looking forward to get our chat on with her. And, maybe we'll take some calls if you're good. And so on that note, say goodnight, Surlana. Yes,
you go.
in her coughing way. And good night, goat.
Spaceboy Universe is hosted by Spaceboy and Surlana. Executive producer is Surlana. Social media producer is Dennis Koch. Associate producer is Lee Ann Cordes. Music production is Spaceboy of SpaceboyMusic.com. Special thanks goes out to Lee Ann K, K28, Mark S, and Bob N. This has been a Spaceboy Universe production. Support the universe by exploring Spaceboy Universe with Spaceboy and Surlana. Sweet dreams, Space Cadets.